Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We will formally open this meeting of the Illinois Board of Review for today, Thursday, December 7th, 2023. We have several preliminary matters before we begin. Everyone has been muted, principally to try to limit the amount of background noise and things that are distracting as we move through today's hearing. There will be a preliminary list of cases that will be called by the law department, and they will be listed as moot or moot complied and other descriptive terms to describe the current status of the project. If your address, and I need you to listen carefully, if your address is noted as moot or moot complied, and you need an explanation for those terms, the general explanation is that the matter has been resolved for today. You're no longer required to stay in the hearing. If you need more than that, please call the office. The administrator, Ellen, can give you more detailed explanation. Please do not break into the hearings to try to ask for an explanation of those terms. Please call the office after the hearing and they will be able to talk to you. The second thing is that this is a formal hearing with legal consequences for the appellant as well as the city. And I would ask that all of you organize yourself and present yourself as if you were in court. So please, men, no hats, no eating, no reclining in your chair or your bed. Please be dressed appropriately for hearing. So if you are not, please go off screen until you can change your clothes and to be prepared for the hearing. If you are not respectful of the hearing, of the administrative hearing conduct requested, we will defer your case. It will have an impact on the outcome of your case. So we're asking you to be respectful and only one person speaking at a time. There is a court reporter who's recording everything that we say, and he cannot record multiple voices at once. So we want everyone to have a fair opportunity to speak and to have your matter resolved. Thank you very much. I will introduce myself again as Kenneth Woodson, the board chair. Other board members will introduce themselves, and we will then hear from the law department as to the outcome of the list of preliminary matters. Kenneth Woodson, board chair.
Ralph Pincus, board member.
Steve, I think that's
Pettit,
you.
board member.
Yep.
Roger S. Tennant, senior board member.
Ken Washington, board member.
Cortez Patton, board member.
Ryan McSherry, board counsel.
I'm frozen.
Richard Wade, board administrator.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Patton, we figured that when you responded to us, but your mouth didn't move. So we figured out you were frozen. So let us know if you need to go out and come back in. We'll move forward.
I'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. Who's representing the law department? Can give us a preliminary list of matters that have been resolved.
Good afternoon. It's Christopher Johnson on behalf of the law department.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. What do we have today?
So I'm going to go down the list. There's not as many moots as normal, but there are some cases that are resolved. Number 10 on the list, appeal HA 2022-004879 for 3280 Rose Hill Street. That matter was an appeal of illegal dumping incident that I believe was listed in error.
Okay, thank you. We'll strike it from today's list.
Going down the list, number 12, that's appeal HA 2022-004405 for 2700 to 34 North Broad Street. Should be recorded as moot.
Moot. Okay, thank you.
Number 13 on the list, it's appeal HA 2022-004684 regarding the tobacco license for the property at 2901 North 27th Street. That matter has been withdrawn.
Withdrawn. Thank you.
For appeal number 18 on the list, it's HA 2023-002293 for 10 East Montgomery Avenue, Empire Home Remodeling. That one has been resolved by agreement. It is city affirmed with a total fine of $750.
$750 fine. Okay. Is anyone here from Empire Home Remodeling? No.
I
Okay,
don't believe so. I had submitted a signed agreement from the owner,
okay,
to the board.
okay, thank you. We'll poll the board on HA-2023-002293, 10 East Montgomery Avenue. City affirmed per agreement, $750 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $750 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $750 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $750 fine.
City affirmed per agreement with a $750 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $750 fine.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Johnson, any more?
Next, number 19 on the list, it's HA-2023-002466. That's an appeal related to the contractor work performed at 1716 Annan Street. There's been an agreement recorded in that matter. The agreement would be reflected as city affirmed with a total fine of $2,500.
City affirmed with a $2,500 fine?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. We'll poll the board on HA-2023-002466, 1716 Annan Street, Gilad Bergeron, doing business as HD Builders. Per agreement, city affirmed, $2,500 fine.
Mr. Chairman, should we
Yes.
confirm whether there is a representative from the appellant?
Oh, yes. Is
Yes,
Mr.
there is.
Melchiori
Yes,
present?
I am present, and that is accurate, that agreement.
Okay, sir, would you mind putting your name on the record, please?
This is Vincent Melchiori on behalf of Gillard Enterprises.
Okay, thank you for, excuse me for ignoring you. Didn't mean you do that on
I
purpose.
didn't want to interrupt you, as you said.
Okay, thank you. Let's continue to vote.
City affirmed per agreement with a $2,500 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $2,500 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $2,500 fine.
City affirmed per agreement with $2,500 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $2,500 fine.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, may I be excused?
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Mr. Chairman, the next on the list would be 22 on the list, appeal HA-2022-000123 for the property at 1111 Spring Garden Street. I believe Mr. Orphanides has appeared on that case. That is going to be resolved by agreement. The agreement would be reflected as city affirmed with a 9-month stay of enforcement.
Okay, the 9-month stay. Okay. Just one moment. Mr. Orphanides, just want to, if you put your name on the record and just confirm the agreement.
Certainly. David Orphanides, last name is spelled Orphanides.
Okay, and you're confirming the city's citation of the agreement.
Yes, the disposition, as
All right.
Mr. Johnson stated, is accurate.
Okay, thank you. All righty, we will call the board on HA-2022-000123, 1111 Spring Garden Street, Evan Linnett, city affirmed per agreement with a 9-month stay of enforcement.
Good afternoon, Mr. Orphanides. My vote is city affirmed per agreement with a 9-month stay.
Nice to see you, Mr. Pincus.
City affirmed per the agreement with a 9-month stay of enforcement.
Yeah.
City affirmed per the agreement with a 9-month stay of enforcement. Mr. Orphanides, good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Tennant.
Good. City affirmed per agreement with a 9-month stay of enforcement.
Thank you, sir.
City affirmed per agreement with a 9-month stay of enforcement.
Thank you very
Sir.
much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yes, you may be excused.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. For number 11 on the list, HA 2022-004946, has Victoria Rosario appeared on the call?
Mr. Wade,
I do not see at this time, but there are some identified. Mrs. Rosario. Do
Okay,
not see
I'll
anyone
wait
under that
in.
name, but
We can call that in order.
okay, all righty.
That's the conclusion of my list. There may be other city attorneys with preliminary matters.
Okay, so what I'd ask you to do, if you have an additional matter for this preliminary portion of the hearing, put your raised hand icon up and I'll call you as I see it. So far, we don't have anyone who has done that. Oh, we do. Okay, Miss Michelle Reinhardt.
Good afternoon, board. Thank you. I have two preliminary matters. The first is that there was number 16 was initially raised to the board as an appeal by a corporation without an attorney. However, an attorney has appeared. So I wanted to just let you know it is Mr. Garzon who is here, and I'm going to ask after the conclusion of the preliminary matters if we may go into a breakout room just to discuss.
Okay, sir, if you put your name on the record, please. Mr. Garzon. Okay, I see you're muted. I believe that's Phil Garzon that's muted. Mr. Wade, I don't know if you can help him unmute.
I will.
Yeah, there you go.
My name is Philip Gazan, Gazan.
Okay, thank you, sir. And you're here on behalf of 625 South 17th Street.
That's correct. McElderry Drywall.
Okay, thank you.
Room 3 is available for you.
Okay, Ms. Reinhardt, is that your only matter?
There was one additional matter.
Okay.
This was for number 14 on today's list. I also raised this previously in an email to the board. This was an appeal filed a little more than 2 months untimely, and there was nothing raised in the appeal.
Okay.
So for those matters, for those reasons, I would ask that it be dismissed.
Okay, is Mr. Vaccaro present?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Vaccaro, what we're going to do, given that you're here, Ms. Reinhardt, in the regular order, we're going to call this matter and we'd expect argument from both sides on this issue of timeliness. And we will rule on timeliness before we proceed any further with this matter, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty. Mr. Rulo.
Good afternoon, board members. I'm wanting to direct your attention to number 20 and number 25 on the list, which those are appeals ending 3558 and 3066.
Yes.
Both concern 2409 South Reese Street. I believe that we've submitted a couple of emails on this where the city is going to join in the continuance request that was filed by the appellant in number 20, Vernon Lucas, because our witness is unavailable.
Okay.
And then number 25, as I noted in my email yesterday, excuse me, it's listed as must be tried, must be heard.
Yes.
The appellant in that case does not have standing. As
Okay.
the party that was cited in the licensing violation notice.
Okay.
They're the former owner of the property. And they also make apparent in their filing that they are acting on behalf of an LLC. So they don't have standing and they also do not have an attorney.
Okay, is this person Khalif Evans, that person present?
They were on the hearing.
Present.
Okay. Mr. Khalif Evans,
Yes.
we need to see your face, sir. Okay. It's still blurry. We can't make out your image. But the city's arguing here that we don't hear the case because of a standing matter. And also there's LLC involved, which is the company, that corporate name that's involved here. Mr. Evans, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? And also, can you clear up your screen so we can see your face so we can identify you?
Is that better?
Not really. It's even blurrier now.
All right, give me 1 second.
Maybe if you pulled it closer to you, it would help.
Mr. Chairman, I also noticed a
There you
very blurry screen for Mr. Vernon Lucas, who seems to keep moving his hand.
Yes.
over.
He's
So-
associated with number 25. So this is what we're going to do. Number 20 was a request for continuance, right, Mr. Rulo?
Yes, and the city is joining in that because
Okay.
this involves some complex electrical matters. And
We're
the
going to
city-
continue that matter then. That'll be continued.
Great, thank you.
So that'll be continued for today. So Mr. Vernon Lucas, if your matter will be continued. Now let's go to number 25. And this is the matter involving Mr. Khalif Evans. And Mr. Evans, raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth, so help you God?
I affirm.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. So in this instance, we have a matter of standing. It's the issue. Mr. Evans, what is your relationship to this property and your reason for submitting the appeal?
I'm the general contractor and owner of the building or property. And the reason of my appeal is because we also receive violations of our rights in the matter regarding Vernon Lucas in the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, for this matter, was your company cited at all?
We were initially cited.
But I mean, currently cited. Is there currently an outstanding violation against your company in writing?
It was, and it was inappropriate.
You saying was? I'm saying now.
It is, and it was inappropriately removed from the system, so it was unethically removed.
Okay, Mr. Rulo, what is your understanding of this matter, the facts?
So the licensing violation notice that was attached to the appeal was for Vernon Lucas of Sundog Energy Consultants LLC. It was not issued to Mr. Khalif Evans, and it was not issued to the Streamline Realty Solutions LLC, which Mr. Evans indicates that he's the managing member of. The other thing I'd note is that my understanding is that as of July, Mr. Evans and his company no longer own the property that was associated here as well. So, you know, it's a licensing violation notice. It attaches to the license, not to a property. And so in this instance, it's the notice that was appealed has nothing to do with Mr. Evans and his company. It is just solely attached to Mr. Lucas.
Okay, Mr. Evans, do you not agree with that statement from the city?
I don't agree. The notice that the appeal ended up hindering the other permits associated with that property, in which it did have an adverse effect on us and the company. But I do want to allude to the email that you mentioned earlier, and you advised the courts to continue both matters.
Well, we get to decide whether we continue or not. I'm not continuing this matter. This matter is not going to be continued. And so that's why the issue is, no, listen to me. Listen to me. If you do not have a violation written in your name or your company's name, then you do not have standing to bring an appeal on a violation written in someone else's name. Now, if you have legal disputes or you believe your company's been harmed by work that they did or did not do, then that's between the two companies.
No, I'm regarding the city of Philadelphia.
Well, this is not the forum for that either. If your company's name is not identified, then you don't have standing to bring the appeal.
Well, the attorney advised for the case to be continued.
That's not happening. We've ruled on it in executive session. We will not continue this matter.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And I do.
Okay, so you may want to consult legal counsel if you feel that your rights are being abridged in some fashion. But in this case, based on my understanding of what's been put on the record, Mr. Khalif Evans, you do not have standing for this matter. Therefore, we won't hear it today. It will not be heard. It's dismissed. Okay. You may have a good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Rulo, do you have anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Is anyone else? Miss Caroline Curley.
Good afternoon, board. Caroline Curley on behalf of the city. I wanted to bring two matters to the board's attention. First, number 15 on the list, that is HA 2022-004225. The appellant is Michael Tracy.
Yes.
For this matter, board, I did submit documentation to support this case. My understanding is Mr. Tracy requested a continuance from the board yesterday at approximately 12:53 p.m. He did. Stop me if the board is already familiar with this or you want me to.
Well, we did review some of the salient basis of your argument in executive session,
Mhm.
but also understood that based on where I think you're headed, it probably should be on the record.
Yes.
And so let's do
great.
this. Let's call for anyone who's representing Michael Tracy, Treacy, 415 South 17th Street. Is anyone else present representing the interests, that address? Okay, let's do this, Ms. Curley. Given the nature of what we believe you will say, let's give us a brief general outline without presenting all the facts of the case for the appeal and see where we go.
Yes. So,
just a moment, Mr. Chairman. Am I
Yes, sir.
correct? This is a second request for a continuance?
That I don't know, but I expect Miss Curley to let us know that in her statement.
I'm actually not aware of whether it's a second request. I can check really quickly, but again, I was alerted to, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I was alerted to this continuance yesterday afternoon by board's administration. They forwarded me an email sent from a Pam McAfee, who identified herself as an assistant to Mr. Michael Tracy. The request for the continuance was stated that it was for, because Mr. Tracy is a veteran and is under doctor's care with the VA due to mental/stress issues. I separately followed up with Ms. McAfee requesting a doctor's note or verification of that. This morning, she forwarded me a copy of what she presented it as a doctor's note from an individual identified as Tom Walker. The questionable deficiencies in that letter led me to investigate the matter further. The letter includes no contact information for any particular VA office. It does appear to be photoshopped based on my ability to edit it and remove a watermark on the form. The individual identified on the letter as the author, Mr. Walker, had no title or official contact information. Only what appeared to be a New Jersey cell phone was listed. When I did a search of that cell phone using the TLO service that we have, there was no affiliation with the VA hospital. It appeared to be a private cell phone number. I requested Assistant City Solicitor Sean Logue from our office to call that individual. Mr. Logue's affidavit was attached to my opposition notice. An individual did answer the number on the letter. He identified himself as Tom Walker. Mr. Logue asked for an email address, which he provided as tom.walker@va.gov. Mr. Logue asked for office information as well as additional contact information. And Mr. Logue asked for Mr. Walker's title. Mr. Walker replied that he was regional director. He provided a general office location. Mr. Logue then asked for Mr. Walker's supervisor's information, to which Mr. Walker stated a name, wasn't sure about the name, and when Mr. Logue asked for contact information, Mr. Walker quickly hung up the phone and said he said he would get back to Mr. Logue and provide that. That has not happened since this morning. There's been no further follow-up from Mr. Walker. Mr. Logue also conducted a general Google search for someone identified as Tom Walker working at the Veterans Hospital as a regional director, and could not identify anyone by that information or title. My understanding is that Mr. Walker has not attempted to call anyone in our office or responded to this information. And as I indicated, Mr. Logue's affidavit is attached to our opposition today. I would also add that based on the information Mr. Logue was able to obtain, I did separately email both Tom.Walker, and in the event there was a typo, T.Walker, as some government agencies use. And both of those emails bounced back as undeliverable. So based on all of that and the discrepancy in the letters, the city is objecting to this continuance request. I did send my opposition to Ms. McAfee and the email address I have for Mr. Tracy, as well as all the individuals at the board. I would just add that I have Mr. Loic here today. If there's any questions about his affidavit, I also do have 2 LNI inspectors who are prepared to testify as to this matter, including, and this is not relevant to the underlying appeal, but I did have AIU investigate, and Mr. Tracy currently has a number of permits open with the department, including 2 permit applications that are pending now.
Okay.
So based on
well-
that, we're objecting to the continuance.
Okay, Miss Curley, do you have available digital wise the letter purporting
do,
to give
yes.
Mr. Tracy?
It was attached to our opposition, but I can pull it up and
Yeah,
share.
if you could do that, share a screen on that one, please.
Not a problem. So this is the letter I received.
Okay. Okay, due to mental health issues and so on, treatment is, and this is dated when? Yes.
Yesterday,
Is there a date on this letter?
on the very top left hand.
Okay, December 6th. Okay,
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, could y'all zoom in a little bit for me, please?
sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's great. That's great.
Oh,
Okay.
oh gosh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, there we go.
Okay, but you need to cut it down so we can see the whole letter. I'm sorry about that. At the moment, it's, yeah, there you go. Okay, would you scroll up a bit? Okay. And this, okay, just keep scrolling, please. Okay, check about it. That is due to mental health issues and its ongoing treatment. This correspondence is limited due to privacy. And so you didn't hear from anyone in his immediate family. You only heard from this assistant in the office.
That's correct. And I do want to point out, which I'm just noticing now, when you scroll up on the letter, you can see that the seal has clearly been cut. If you
Okay.
notice, there's like a gray outline
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay.
behind it.
So you think that's been photoshopped?
I am not an expert or have no outside information on digital manipulation, but based on these very on these factors, I am suspicious of that.
Okay. Already. And if you scroll down just a bit, just want to see the watermark on it. You made some tests. You indicated earlier there's some issues regarding the watermark.
Yes, so I can show you in what I marked as C1 when I clicked on the editing function in Adobe PDF.
Yes.
Every single item, oh gosh, wow, I'm clearly not technically savvy. Every single item in the letter is you can delete it. So
Yes.
my understanding is traditionally with watermarks, you would not be able to do that, but every
Correct.
single item did pop up.
Okay. So that would suggest there's been a cut and paste of those images
Something. to
or
that-
something. You've been digitally manipulated.
That is, yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's do this. Well, before we do this, I'm going to ask for executive session. But before I do that, Ms. Curley, what is your preference?
We would ask for city affirm based on failure to appear today.
Okay. Okay. And you have communicated.
And I am so sorry. I was able to confirm. It does seem that this was continued from September, but there may have been an issue with service for that September date. So this would be the first true hearing date.
Okay. And are you, this is not a matter of requiring legal counsel because this license is an individual's name?
That is correct.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm asking the board to join me in a breakout session for a few moments and we'll go off the record, Ms. Curley, because we can't do that if you aren't represented.
I understand. Okay,
Okay.
let's, can you give me a chance then to hire an attorney and postpone that hearing?
I want to hear from the city. What is, Ms. Curley, what is your position in terms of continuing this matter for an attorney?
It's not really clear to me why an attorney isn't present here today. The board's paperwork is very clear that entities need to be represented. it's the board's discretion.
Okay. Sir, you have to have an attorney to represent your interests on these administrative hearings. And so we will give you a short continuance to secure representation from an attorney who's licensed in this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Okay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
If I may, excuse me,
Yes.
for number 15, related to 415 South 17th Street, where we gave a continuance to January 18th. Just
Yes.
want to make sure that Mr. Kelly has it on the record that we also stated it must be heard.
Yes. That was part of the decision, that it must be heard, and that date was the 18th.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, board, that does conclude with my matters for the day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we have Miss Alexandria Athanasiadis.
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson.
Good afternoon.
Case number 2, HA 2023-000116, 6006 Jefferson Street. The city received a continuance request from appellant. The city has no objection to this request, but I would like to note for the record, this is the second continuance, so that appellant had requested. So I would just ask.
Third continuance.
Third continuance. I leave it to the board's discretion. If the board decides to grant this continuance request, I would ask that it be listed as must be heard at the next hearing date.
Okay. Is anyone present representing 6006 Jefferson Street, Wendy Blout? Anyone present? Okay. Ms. Athanasiadis, is there any public health or public safety matters involved in this?
There are not, Chairman Woodson.
Okay. All righty. We will then continue this. This is the third and last time. It will be must be heard at our next hearing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Case number 4, Chairman, HA 2023-003397, 591 Carver Street. I don't know if there's an attorney here present for that matter. There seems to be a standing issue.
Okay. Who's here representing 591 Carver Street? Don Abraham. Is anyone present? Anyone present representing 591 Carver Street? Mr. Wade, was there service in this matter?
Service was made and there's no one I don't see that name in the waiting room.
Okay. Ms. Athanasiadis, we have two things happening here. No one responding when called. The second thing, of course, service was made. Do you have a preference?
My preference would be, as it's 2:22 p.m., I would ask that this matter be city affirmed due to lack of appearance.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pincus, what time are you showing?
2:22 p.m.
2:22 p.m. We will poll the board. HA-2023-003397, 591 Carver Street. Don Abraham, city affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed, non-appearance.
Thank you very much. Okay. I think Ms. Athanasiadis was the last person who had a raised hand. That being the case.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman Woodson. I do have some more matters to read onto the record.
Okay, those are matters that will not be heard today?
Correct.
Okay, please.
Case number 6, HA-2023-003741, 221 Farriston Drive. That matter is moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Case number 7, HA-2023-003704, 1025 Slocum Street. That matter is moot.
Moot, thank you.
Case number 8, Chairman Woodson, HA-2023-003691, 2712 Wharton Street. There also seems to be a standing issue in that matter, Chairman. The person that filed the appeal is not listed as the owner of the property.
Okay. Let's do this then. We'll call the case Hakeem Rush. Anybody, Mr. Rush, or anyone related to 2712 Wharton Street?
Here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Okay, Mr. Rush, what is your relationship to this? Well, before you answer that question, raise your right hand. I'll give you, me swear you in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you would give be the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Sir, what is your relationship to this property?
I live here. The title is in my father-in-law's name.
Is your father-in-law present?
No,
What is your father-in-law's name?
Preston Scott.
Okay. Do you have, is your father-in-law living?
Yes.
Do you have a lease for the property?
We have the house is paid off. We have a title.
No, I'm asking you a different question. Since you are a tenant,
Sorry.
do you have a lease for the property?
No, we're not renting. We stay here.
Okay. Does your father-in-law live in the building?
No.
Okay. Miss Athanasiadis, what's the nature of the violation before we decide what to do here?
Chairman Woodson, it was a notice of defect issued for a defective lateral.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rush, why didn't you have your father-in-law as the owner and just submit the appeal? Because you don't have standing. We can't hear an appeal from you.
Just lack of knowledge, I guess.
Yeah, we can't hear this because you aren't the owner. You don't have a legal lease to the property. At the moment, you don't have any legal standing. Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have a different view of this?
No, Chairman Woodson, I am in agreement with your assessment.
Okay. Mr. Rush, that creates a problem for you because in order for you to have a legitimate appeal, the owner of record has to either make the appeal or have an attorney do it on his behalf or give you some other written authority that can be substantiated to do the appeal. Now, I don't know how much time you have left because it's a 30-day window from the date of the appeal when you're permitted to, from the date of the violation when you're allowed to submit an appeal. In order not to give short shrift to this, I'd like my legal counsel, if he's present, to just quickly either affirm or suggest to us another route here. Mr. McSherry?
Yes, I'm looking at the notice of defect. It is where it indicates the property owner, the line is blank. So the notice of defect itself does not indicate that it's actually being addressed to the property owner.
If I may.
Yes.
That was the notice of defect that was attached to the appeal, and that gets left on site while the crews are there. If I may share my screen.
Okay.
To show the notice of defect that was also sent out. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
So this is the handwritten property owner, Preston Scott. And then this is what is mailed out to the property by Customer Field Service. And the name on is Preston Scott.
Okay. Preston Scott. Okay. Given that, Mr. McSherry.
In that case, I would agree with your assessment of the matter, Mr. Chairperson. The appellant does not have standing to appeal this notice of defect.
Okay. Mr. Rush, I'm sorry to have to say this to you, but we aren't going to be able to hear your case today because you don't have standing to bring it. And I would suggest to you, if you have control of the property and it's legitimately legally yours, you and your family need to work out this matter of title. That will create major problems for you in any other transactions you attempt concerning this address. So you need to have the title in your name if in fact you're the legitimate owner. And if you're a legitimate tenant, then you should have a written lease that would outline your responsibilities to give you authority to do certain things. Okay?
Okay, is that it? I don't
Yeah, that's it for today. We're going to dismiss your appeal for lack of standing.
Can I get some kind of extension or continuation in regards to the matter?
No,
I would like to say that
a new appeal would have to be submitted by the appropriate person. That's Mr. Rush, whose name's on. I'm sorry, not Mr. Rush. The named person in the violation notice. Is he aware of this violation?
Yes, he is, but I would like to say that one notification that was shown, that was one of probably about 12 to 14. That was the only one that had his name on it.
Well, but the point
There's
is,
many,
that's
many
the
more
one.
notifications than there.
Okay. And so there's action should have been taken long time ago regarding other notifications as well. But here we have to follow the legal standard that only the owner of record can make decisions for a property, because if someone were representing themselves as being the responsible person and legally is not, they can take action that would be harmful to the legal owner. And so we're trying to protect the owner's interests as well. Okay. And so regarding this matter, HA-2023-003691, 2712 Wharton Street, Hakeem Rush. This matter is dismissed for lack of standing. All right, thank you.
Chairman Woodson, case number 9 on the list,
Okay.
HA-2023-003724, 2144 East Susquehanna Avenue. That matter is moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Moving to the second page of the list. Case number 23, HA-2023-003033, 5728 North Marvine Street. My understanding is that a continuance request was received by the board. I would just note for the record, this matter has been previously continued. And I have no objection should the board decide to continue it again. I would only ask once again that it be marked must be heard at the next listing, as this is the second request.
Okay. Have you, Mr. Athanasiadis, have you had any conversations with the appellant?
I have not, Chairman Woodson. There's been no direct contact. My understanding is that the appellant has several appeals going on, so there's been contact with other city departments, but no direct contact, sir.
Okay, is the appellant present today, Mr. Steve Frempong? Mr. Steve Frempong. Okay, let's do this. We'll continue with a must be heard requirement.
Thank you, Chairman Woodson.
Okay.
And then moving on to case
Hello?
number.
Hello?
I'm sorry, who's attempting to break in?
I'm sorry. It's just William English. I'm sorry.
Sir, we're in the, please mute yourself, sir.
Okay.
Are you an attorney representing this
No,
matter?
no, I reached out to him in the chat. He can,
Oh,
he
okay.
can contact the office number, the number on his appeal. His
Okay.
matter was moot complied.
Okay. All right, thank you. Ms. Athanasiadis?
Yes, in case number 27, Chairman, HA-2023-004261, 5531 Beaumont Avenue. That matter is moot.
Moot. Thank you very much. Okay, is that it? Do you have additional matters?
No, the other additional matters, Chairman Woodson, we are prepared to move forward on.
Okay. All right, thank you. If there's nothing else, we do have several interpreters listed for today. We will have a Spanish interpreter for 5456 Erdrich Street, and we will have a Armenian interpreter for 2036 Bayer Avenue, and a Indonesian interpreter for 2538 South Darien Street. So let's do this. If there, Mr. Wade, are any requests to go out of turn?
I have not gotten any requests as of yet.
Okay, so what I'd like to do, given the potential complexity of these interpreter cases, let's start with the number 14, and then we'll weave in the other matters as we go.
Okay, the Spanish interpreter, please identify yourself.
Hello, I am Leonel, and I'm the Spanish interpreter.
Good afternoon, sir. Would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony? I'm sorry. Do you swear or affirm that you will interpret correctly between English and Spanish all of the proceedings in this matter?
I swear.
Okay, thank you. What we would like you to do, sir, is to interpret simultaneously. So from this point forward, as any of us are speaking in English, I'd like you to interpret so that the appellant will understand what is happening and their responses. And any responses from the appellant must be in your voice. Understood?
Understood.
Okay, so
Mr.
I'd like
Chairman,
you to...
I'm sorry, pardon me for interrupting, Chair.
Yes.
I did not catch the interpreter's full name. Could I please have that?
Yes, sir. Would you say it slowly and spell your last name?
Yes, sir. My name is Leonel Gillen. Last name is spelled Guillen, as in Nancy.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Okay, thank you very much. Alrighty, Mr. Wade, would you read that matter into the case
Señor
again?
Wade, ¿puede leer la notificación, por favor?
Case number 14, hearing appeal ending 1241 5456 Erdrich Street, Community Mini Markets.
Muy bien, el caso es 1241, la dirección es 5456 calle Erdrich. El tema es de mini markets.
Okay, and we have an attorney listed, Mr. Joseph Vaccaro. Are you present?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Good afternoon, council.
Okay, Mr. Vaccaro, given that we have an interpreter, please just allow the interpreter to interpret everything we say in English before you respond.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Muy bien, entonces tenemos un abogado, el señor Joseph Vaccaro, que lo está representando.
Okay, who's representing the city?
¿Quién representa la ciudad?
Good afternoon, Michelle Reinhardt for the city of Philadelphia.
Muy
Okay.
buenas tardes, Michelle Reinhardt para la ciudad de Filadelfia.
Okay, Mr. Vaccaro, will your client be testifying today?
In all likelihood, he will not be testifying, but just let the record reflect that he is sitting to my left in my office.
Okay.
Muy bien, entonces no va a estar testificando, entonces solamente quiero que reflejar de que él está sentado a mi izquierda.
And Mr. Vaccaro, is he able to hear the interpreter?
Yes.
¿Puede escuchar al intérprete? Yes, sí.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And it's Mr. Vaccaro, are you bilingual in Spanish?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That helps.
A bit, but to the extent that the board's allowed to take my Spanish interpretation.
Sí,
No, no,
estaba
that'll help in terms
seguro
of,
si la corte podía tomar mi interpretación.
yeah, it'll help in terms of us being able to ensure that the appellant is understanding everything that we're attempting to do.
Sí, solamente nos va a asegurar a nosotros de que el apelante está escuchando todo y que está entendiendo todo.
Okay. Ms. Reinhardt, do you have a witness?
Señorita Reinhardt, ¿tiene un testigo?
I do also have a request. However, I am having computer difficulties. It is in the process of restarting, so I am on my cell phone and unable to share documents at the moment. I am hoping within the next 5 minutes that will change.
Okay, let's have the interpreter say all of that.
Muy bien, sí, sí lo tengo. De hecho, tengo para la solicitud, pero estoy teniendo problemas, dificultades con mi computadora en este momento, técnicos, porque se está reiniciando y estoy conectada a mi celular y no puedo compartir documentos, pero espero que en 5 minutos eso pueda cambiar.
Okay. Ms. Reinhardt, would it be better for us to hold your matter over until you get connected and move on to something else and come back to you?
Just briefly, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Si podemos pasar a otro tema mientras se arregla eso, sí, se lo agradecería.
Okay. And Mr. Vaccaro, given the technical difficulties here, we want to allow this to be heard properly. So we're going to continue this matter for the moment, pass it, go to another matter, and come back to you.
Entonces, vamos a pasar a otro tema. Vamos a pasar a otro tema mientras se termina de arreglar esto para que se pueda escuchar correctamente.
Okay. Spanish interpreter, you can take a break and we'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wade, would you call a non-interpreter case next?
Case, will the Armenian interpreter please identify yourself?
Oh, no, I'm saying a non-interpreter
A
required.
non-interpreter, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, Mr.
Yeah.
Johnson has his hand raised.
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the board if they could call number 11. I don't believe Ms. Rosario is on the call and
Okay, that's
that
easy
would-
enough. Understood. Okay, Mr. Wade, let's go to number 11.
Case number 11, hearing appeal ending 4946 2000 Valletta Street, Victoria Rosario. I don't see anyone under that name, but I'll check service.
Okay. While he's checking, I'll call again for anyone representing the interests of 2000 Valletta Street, Valletta, Victoria Rosario. Is Victoria Rosario present or anyone else present who represents the interests of 2000 Valletta Street?
And just to be clear, this was an appeal of a notice of violation for an illegal dumping incident.
Okay.
where Ms. Valletta had used a vehicle to illegally dump 5 items.
Okay. Yeah, we won't put
from
any.
the brink.
She isn't here, so we won't explain the case. Okay, so Mr. Wade, can you confirm service?
Notice was sent on 10/30/2023.
Okay, thank you. And what is your preference, Mr. Johnson?
The city is going to request that the case be marked as city affirmed for failure to appear.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
2:39 PM.
2:39 p.m. Okay. All righty. We'll pull the board on HA-2022-004946, 2000 Valletta Street, Victoria, Rosario. City affirmed non-appearance.
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 Okay. Thank you very much. All righty. Ms. Athanasiadis, you have your hand up. You're muted at the moment, ma'am.
Yes, Chairman Woodson, while we wait for Ms. Reinhardt, I was wondering if two of my cases that I don't seem to see appellants here for, if they could also be called. And in the
Okay.
event they are not present, I can dismiss my witness.
Okay. All right. Which cases are those?
Case number 3, HA-2023-003635, 8540 Fayette Street, Richard Duckett.
Okay. And the other one?
And the other one, sir, is case number 5, HA-2023-003388, 1423 West Erie Avenue, Enoch Jerome.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Mr. Wade, let's start with number 3 then. Let's call that one out.
You're muted, Mr. Wade.
Thank you. Case 3, hearing appeal ending 3635, 8540 Fayette Street, Richard Duckett. Service was made.
Thank you. Richard Duckett or anyone else representing the interests of 8540 Fayette Street. Richard Duckett. Hearing no response. What time do we have, Mr. Pincus?
2:41 PM.
2:41 p.m. Okay, we will pull the board on HA 2023-003635, 8540 Fayette Street. City affirmed non-appearance.
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 Thank you very much. Number 5, Mr. Wade.
Case
Well,
5.
before you proceed, Mr. Wade, I see a phone number with a hand raised.
Okay.
Let's see who that is and make sure it's not someone we're about to dismiss. That phone number is muted at the moment.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, this is Richard Duckett. I am Richard Duckett is on the line. I've been trying to get you guys since you called my name. Richard Duckett is on the line.
Okay, Mr. Duckett, your matter, because you didn't respond. Were you present at the time that we were calling your name? Okay.
Yes, I was on the phone line. Yes.
Okay. Can you also activate your video?
I don't know. I called the phone number on this list, and then I got in that way. So I don't know how to do that.
Well, there was a
there any way
link
you can tell me
also
how to do that?
provided. Well, there was also a link because we really would like to see your image. If you have a smartphone, you should be able to activate your video. But in the
Okay,
meantime,
is there a way I could do that right now?
you should. Yeah, go ahead and do that.
I'm
But in the
sorry, sir.
meantime, but wait a minute, sir, listen to me. We've entered a decision. So what I'm going to do, Ms. Athanasiadis, based on Mr. Richard Duckett's statement that he is who he says he is, we're going to strike that decision and call that matter in regular order. Okay.
Yes, Chairman Woodson.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Duckett, we will call you in regular order. So in the meantime, try to figure out how to get your image up.
Mr. Chair,
Okay,
perhaps
so
Mr.
what-
Wade,
can I-
Mr. Wade, if someone from the office can be in touch with Mr. Duckett and help him.
Okay.
Yes,
Mr. Wade
please.
is, yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Wade is working alone today. So, but I'll ask him if he can.
I'll try when there's a case going on.
Okay. So be patient, Mr. Duckett. You may be last on the list today just because of everything else is going on. But in
Okay.
the
So you
meantime,
wanna
let's
meet
go.
me again?
Yes, we're going to mute you again. Let's
Okay, but
mute
you
him.
know I'm-
There you go. Okay, let's call number 5, Mr. Wade.
Yep. Case number 5, hearing appeal ending 3388, 1423 West Erie Ave, Enoch Jerome. Service
Okay.
was made.
Enoch Jerome. or anyone representing the interests of 1423 West Erie Avenue. Hearing no response, what time do we have, Mr. Wade? I'm sorry, Mr. Pincus.
2:44 PM.
2:44 PM, and I did not ask your preference, Mr. Athanasiadis.
My preference would be Chairman Woodson, city affirmed due to non-appearance.
Okay, thank you. We will call the vote on HA 2023-003388 1423 West Erie Avenue. City affirmed non-appearance.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Woodson.
Okay. Is that the only matter? Then do we have any other matters? Unless Ms. Reinhardt is ready to go. Do we know if she's ready yet?
I am still in the process of logging on. There are signs of life. However, I do have an agreement for another case to put on the record.
Okay. Let's do that, because the other case that you need to do, you can do that while you're continuing to get your connectivity matter resolved for your computer.
Yes, I can put this agreement on the record on by cell phone while the computer is continuing to open.
Okay. All right. Which matter is that?
This is for, I believe it is number 14 on the list with
Oh no, that's one we passed.
oh, then I believe it's number 12 on the list with Mickeldary Drywall Incorporated.
No.
16.
16.
Yeah, number 16 is Mickeldary Drywall. Is that the matter okay? Would you state the contours of the agreement?
So opposing counsel is here in order to confirm the agreement to mark the violation as city affirmed with a reduced fine of $300.
Okay, Mr. Gazin, can you confirm that?
I confirm the agreement.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. We will poll the board on HA-2023-003732 625 South 17th Street, Mickeldary Drywall. Per agreement, city affirmed with a $300 fine.
City affirmed per agreement with a $300 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $300 fine.
City affirmed per the
Thank you very much.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Mr. Wade, what else can we do in the interim?
We can, if you're not ready to go to a interpreter case, we can go to case number 1 on the list.
Okay, let's do that. Number 1.
Case number 1, hearing appeal ending 1953, 3606 Bel Air Place, Jerry McWilliams.
Okay. Who's
Yes.
representing the city?
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson, Alexandra Athanasiadis on behalf of the city in this matter.
Okay. I think I heard a voice from a Jerry McWilliams.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, sir. Would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. Sir, is your name the only name on the deed of this property?
Me and my wife, technically.
Well, either you and your wife or not you and your wife.
It's a joint property. It's my wife and I.
Oh, okay. Okay. As long as she's your wife, so she's on her name is on the deed. Okay, we can proceed. Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have any witnesses?
I do, Chairman Woodson, Mr. Hashim Murphy.
Okay, Mr. Murphy, are you present?
Mr. Murphy, unmute yourself.
Yes, I am present.
Oh, Mr. Murphy, we will need to see your image. And if you're in a vehicle, are you moving or are you in a stop in a safe place?
I am in a vehicle currently.
Okay, we can't hear your testimony until you're stopped in a safe place.
Will do. Will do as soon as I can.
Okay, the problem is that your case has been called in the instant, so we're going to have to pass this. We don't
No,
have time.
no. Come on. I'm going to give me 2 seconds as soon as I can.
A general statement from the board to everyone who will be participating today. If you're in a vehicle, you can't be driving and participate. And if we call your case, we expect you to be ready to go at that moment. So, sir, if you're stopped, can you also change the name on your image? It just has an iPhone at the moment. Or Mr. Wade, can you do that? Maybe Mr. Wade can do it. He's muted, working with another client. Let's do this, sir. Ms. Athanasiadis, would you in fact introduce your witness again, and I will swear him in.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. The city will be calling Mr. Hashim Murphy in this matter, Chairman Woodson.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, would you spell your first and last name, please?
Sure. HASHIMMURPHY.
Okay, thank you. Would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear and affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you very much. Place your hand down. Ms. Athanasiadis, you may proceed.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this case is before the board today as Jerry McWilliam is appealing a notice of defect that was served on March 29th, 2023. The Philadelphia Water Department went to that location of 3606 Bel Air Place as a result of a resident call-in for a cave-in. As Mr. McWilliam testified or indicated earlier, he is listed on the deed as well as his wife as owners. On March 29th, 2023, after conducting a dye test, the Philadelphia Water Department issued a notice of plumbing defect for a defective vent pipe and curb trap when dye appeared in the vent pipe and curb trap. Re-inspections were performed thereafter on April 27th, 2023, May 23rd, 2023, September 23rd, 2023, and November 18th, 2023, and repairs were not made. Mr. Murphy, by whom are you employed, sir?
Philadelphia Water Department.
And how long have you been employed by the Philadelphia Water Department?
Approximately 18 years.
Okay, and what is your current job title, sir?
Crew Chief 1.
Okay, and can you please let the board know what is a Crew Chief 1?
Crew Chief 1 is a field supervisor, I would say. I lead crews, reset crews, more specifically the exam crew, where we issue notices of defect.
Okay, and are you familiar with this address, sir, of 3606 Bel Air?
Very.
And how are you familiar with this property?
I was present when the initial dye test was done.
Okay, and were you also one of the people that issued the notice of defect?
I did issue the notice of defect.
Okay, and how did this property become known to the water department, sir?
We were given a ticket because of a large depression in the roadway in front of said address.
Okay, let me just share my screen with you, sir. Okay. Can you see my screen, Mr. Murphy?
I can.
Okay. And what I'm showing you, sir, is a service request from CityWorks. Are you familiar with this document?
Yes.
And is this a document that the Philadelphia Water Department keeps in its normal course and scope of business?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you familiar with entries made into the CityWorks system?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And this is the service request that was received by the Water Department, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And can you just, I know you're on your phone, can you just follow my cursor?
Absolutely.
Okay. And here it says SR subtype cave-in, is that correct?
Yes.
And a resident called this in, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the date of this call?
3/29/23.
Okay. And the location that was provided was what?
3606 Bel Air Place.
Okay. And it was listed as an
Emergency.
It was. Okay. And that's what prompted your crew to go out on site?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, when you went on site, sir, you issued a notice of defect. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. Just a brief second and I will pull that up for you. And the city would be marking the first document shown as City 1 and marking this document that will be shown as City 2. Okay. Do you see what I'm showing you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. When is a notice of plumbing defect issued, Mr. Murphy?
After we complete a dye test and can confirm visibly that there is a defect in the sewer pipes.
Okay. And I'm going to scroll down to page 2 of this exhibit. It's not very clear, but is this, did you complete any of this document, sir?
Most of it.
Okay. And is this document left at the property?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And can you please tell the board, explain some things to the board? You checked off defective vent pipe and curb trap, it appears?
Correct.
Okay. And what is a vent pipe?
The vent pipe is a pipe made to breathe, to provide air into the sewer line that sits on top of a curb trap, which usually sits on a curb line in front of each house in the city.
Okay. And dye, it seems to indicate dye was placed in B/H. What is that?
Borehole.
Okay.
A borehole. Absolutely. I'm sorry. A borehole is a hole that we drill in the street in depressions when there is no actual cave-in or hole present. In this instance, there was a depression, but no hole. So we drilled the borehole and then we subsequently dye test the borehole to find a defect.
Okay. Can you explain to the board, sir, how a dye test works?
We place, after we drill the hole, we place dye into the hole. We run water into the hole. We open up the vents in the area and the sewers in the area and see if dye shows in vents or the sewers.
Okay. And in this particular instance, where did dye appear?
In both vents and traps at 3606.
Okay. And who was the notice of defect directed to?
The homeowner.
Okay. And can you explain why it's important to have a properly functioning vent pipe?
Because these vents are made to suck air and push air into your sewer line. When they become disjointed, it creates a vacuum, and that's what creates the cave-in and or depression. So if the broken vent pipe and curb trap are not repaired, the cave-in in front of the house, which is usually very close to the vent pipes, will just get bigger and bigger each time the homeowner uses water or flushes a toilet.
And why is it important for the property to have a properly functioning curb trap?
The same exact reason. If it's not functioning properly, it will create a large hole in front of the house.
Okay. And whose responsibility is it to maintain the vent pipe?
In Philadelphia, the homeowner.
And what about the curb trap?
Same. Homeowner.
Okay. Just one brief second, sir. And I'll submit to you that re-inspections were performed for, this notice of defect. And I'm just going to pull up a document. And I'll submit to you, sir, that you weren't the one that performed the re-inspections.
Right.
Okay. Just sharing my screen. Do you see what I have in front of you, Mr. Murphy?
I do.
And this is a City Works report. Now, this City Works, this type of document, is this a document that's kept in the normal course and scope of Philadelphia Water Department business?
It is.
Okay. And I'm going to direct your attention, sir, to the date of March 29th, 2023. Do you see that?
I do.
And that was the date that we received the service request for the property, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And can you read to the board what is written below that?
Per car 250, requesting S&L exam in front of 3604, 3606, and 3608 Bel Air Place. Ground is undermining.
Okay. And you had previously testified that these types of defects can create depressions, cave-ins, and things of that nature, correct?
Correct.
Would they be considered undermining the ground?
Correct.
Okay. And I'll just move down, sir. A reinspection was done on April 27, 2023, correct?
Yes.
Were repairs made at that time?
No, no, ma'am. Found no repairs made to defective vent pipe and curb trap, it says.
Okay, and then I'll just move a little further along to May 23rd, 2023. Another reinspection was performed. Were repairs performed at that time?
No, ma'am. It says found no repairs made to defective vent pipe and curb trap again.
Okay. And next, sir, I'll move down to September 23rd, 2023. Were repairs made at that time?
Not at all.
And most recently, sir, November 18th, 2023. Can you just read for the record what's below that entry?
Certainly. Found no repairs made to defective vent pipe and curb trap. Customer has L&I bill, reinspection per 120.
Okay, sir. So as we sit here today, there have been no repairs made. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the vent pipe remains defective?
Correct.
And the curb trap remains defective?
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions of Mr. Murphy at this time, Chairman Woodson.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McWilliams, do you have any cross-examination questions for the inspector based on his testimony?
Well, one thing that just stood out is the notice that I.
Mr. Williams,
Yes,
this
sir.
is your time to ask him a question. Now, you'll be given a chance to give your general statement about things, but
Well,
specifically,
that's
do
what
you have any
I
questions?
wanted to- Sorry, sir. I just wanted to ask him, on my sheet, it says Chief Inspector was Isaac, not Mr. Murphy.
Okay.
I don't know where the confusion is there. It's two different people saying that there were.
Okay, so Mr. I'm sorry, McWilliams, Mr. Murphy, my apologies here. What is the difference? Has anyone else inspected that location other than yourself?
Obviously there were approximately three re-inspections done. I can't say who Mr. Isaac is and when he was there. I know I wrote the initial notice and we
Okay.
did the initial test.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of Mr. McWilliams?
For this gentleman, no.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have any other witnesses?
I do not, Chairman Woodson. I would just mark and move for the record, city exhibits 1 through 3.
Okay, so moved. Okay. Mr. McWilliams, is your opportunity now to share with us your understanding of facts and where things are at your house?
Okay, so I had, for our last meeting, you recommended that we have a private contractor come out and camera the pipes and the vents, and we have video evidence that and a report from the plumbing company that there was no leaks in the curb trap or the vent. I have the bill from the plumbing company and the video for that. I could not find any way to send it to you, but I will be happy to email it or whatever you need to do it if you give me an address.
Well, well, just one thing. The opportunity to email and send evidence was before today's hearing.
Well, there's nothing on your sheet that shows that I can do that.
Oh, okay. There's communication from the water department that says that. But in the meantime, what else do you have anything in writing from the plumbing company that you've sent in to us?
I didn't send anything in, but I have everything I can send in. I wanted to present it at this meeting.
Okay. One basic rule is that if you're going to go to a formal hearing, all material evidence that you will use to make your case must be shared with the opposition before you arrive so they can review it. And likewise, you should have gotten all of their stuff that they showed today.
I didn't receive anything.
You didn't? Okay.
No.
All right. What did the plumber tell you?
The plumber told me he has a camera and he ran it down the pipe, checked, there was no breaks in any of the pipes, and there was nothing leaking that they seen visible.
Okay. Did he
And they
see
had
the,
and they had the camera. I have a USB card that they gave us.
okay.
For
Did,
that.
did you communicate any of that information to the water department?
I have a call on 1110 per, you asked me to have the water department represented when the plumber was there. And I called, left a message, and I did not have any return call back. That was on 1110, and the plumber came out on 1113.
Okay. So who did you call on 1110?
I called the water department, the number on the original notice, and left a message. Well, on our previous meeting, you recommended that, or one of the, I think it was the, I don't know what the other gentleman's name is. He recommended that we have a representative from the water department while the plumber was there. So we called 4 days in advance because that's the date the plumber gave us. I left a message that we're going to have the property cambered, and it was requested they be out.
Okay. Now, you know that not having the water department there on site doesn't solve anything, correct?
Well, it was just a recommendation by the board from you guys.
Okay, but that doesn't get us anywhere because you still don't have two different sets of eyes on the problem at the same time.
Okay, I was just going by your recommendation, sir. Sorry.
Well, Ms. Athanasiadis, is there what did we have another hearing in this matter before?
Chairman, I don't have a record of that. I don't know if it had been previously listed. I don't have a record of this being a second listing for this matter.
Mr.
Yes,
Wade, do you, yeah.
It was,
No, Mr. Williams, I'm asking the administrator. Mr. Wade?
8/31. It was continued 90 days from 8/31.
Okay, 8/31 hearing
Yes.
with a 90-day, was there a decision rendered?
No, just
Okay.
continuance.
Can I also add that the water department was also going to look in, there was a cave in on the street in front of our house, which took out the neighbor's property. And when they made all these repairs, the water department was supposed to come to this meeting with all that reports.
I'm gonna object as to anything that
Yeah.
Mr. Williams is testifying as to what the water department was supposed to do.
Well,
Let's do
this
this.
is on record.
Oh,
This
wait,
is-
Mr. McWilliams, wait, hold on a second. Because we have a problem here. Let's do this. Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have access to any hearing records from August 31st handy?
I can look, Chairman Woodson. I know I was out, and so someone else from my office handled the hearing
Okay,
that date.
okay. I want to give you an opportunity to take a look at that because of the nature of what the testimony has been thus far. If we pass this and give you a chance to do it, you think you can get your hands on those records?
I think Mr. McWilliams didn't provide records.
Well, he said he didn't, but I just want to know on your end if there were certain things in your records that would indicate certain steps that the board had requested.
Okay.
And because nothing that we asked to happen, according to Mr. Williams' testimony, happened. And so we're right where we started 90 days ago in August.
Yes, Chairman Woodson, I can look into that. As when you call the next matter, I can reach out to my colleague that handled the matter.
Okay. Okay. Let's do this. I need to ask these forbearance, both Mr. McWilliams and our inspector. I'm going to continue this for the moment, go to another case and come back to you because I want the city to be fully informed of what was decided. And also, Mr. McWilliams, we need to make a decision today. And if in fact you didn't have the city present when you had your plumber present, you don't achieve anything because we need everybody there at the same time.
Well, if the city doesn't respond, I can't help that.
Well, that's part of this. Wait, and we're not going to argue this. That's part of the issue in terms of what actions you took and who you call. So I need to have the city to check their records to see what was recorded then, and then we'll come back to you. So I'm going to apologize to you and our inspector because I need to hear another case and then come back to you. Understood?
Chairman Woodson, if I may, if Mr.
Yes.
McWilliams can forward what he purports to have from his plumber, if he can email it to me, so that, possibly it can get reviewed and looked at. To
Okay.
see if it changes the city's position in any way while the other case is called, that would also be beneficial.
Okay. Mr. Williams, can you do that?
Yes. Would you
Yeah,
have the
send-
email address?
Send
I'm
it
gonna
over.
put it in the chat, sir.
In the
It's
what?
the chat's not public right now.
Okay.
It's not? Okay, so, Ms.
I'll put it- I'll send it to Mr. McWilliams.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So do you have it, Mr. Wade? You have what is?
Yes, I have Alex's email.
Okay.
In the meantime, if we're putting this on hold, I think we can recall case number 14.
Okay, we're gonna put this on hold and go to case 14 and come back to you.
Mr. McWilliams, I'll send you that in a moment, all right?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Recall case number 14, hearing appeal ending 1241, 5456 Erdrich Street. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Spanish interpreter.
Yes, hello, I'm right here.
Yep.
Recalling 14, hearing appeal ending 1241, 5456 Erdrich Street, Community Mini Markets.
Muy bien, entonces estamos con el caso número 14, caso número 1241, 5456 calle Erdrich, Mini Market.
Ms. Reinhardt, are you prepared to put on your case?
Señorita Reinhardt, ¿puede poner ya está lista para exponer su caso?
Yes, thank you. I am.
Okay.
Sí, gracias, ya estoy.
Your witness?
Soy testigo.
The city's witness will be Ms. Jody Wilkins.
Okay.
La testigo de la ciudad sería la señorita Jody Wilkins.
Ms. Wilkins, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn?
Señorita Wilkins, puede levantar su mano derecha para juramentarla.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Jura y que el testimonio que va a dar el día de hoy es completamente la verdad. Yes.
All right, thank you. Ms. Reinhardt.
Señorita Reinhardt.
And before council begins, I just want the record to reflect that my client, Mr. Miguel Nunez, on behalf of the Community Mini Market, is in the room with me and he's seated to my left, even though we can see him.
Y antes de comenzar, quiero que el consejo sepa de que mi cliente, el señor Miguel, está a mi izquierda y que aunque no lo pueden ver, pero doy fe de que está a mi izquierda.
Okay. Ms. Reinhardt.
Thank you. There are two preliminary issues. The first is that this appeal was filed late. It is stamped as March 17th, 2023 for a letter that was dated January 9th, 2023.
Oh, okay.
Muy bien. Hay dos asuntos preliminares. El primero es que esta apelación fue sometida tarde y tiene una fecha de recibido de marzo 17 de 2023 para una carta que tiene fecha de enero 9, 2023.
Okay, Ms. Reinhardt, what is the second matter before we go for argument on the first?
Okay, señorita, ¿cuál es el segundo asunto?
The second matter is that there were no issues raised on the appeal. I will share my screen in order to.
Oh, that's okay. I want to hear from Mr. Vaquero regarding the timeliness matter.
Okay, entonces el segundo es que no hubo ningún asunto que fue sometido para esta apelación. Y voy a compartir mi pantalla, pero no hay problema. Primero vamos a escuchar al señor Vaccaro para el primer asunto.
Thank you. May it please the board, with respect to the date of the letter from the city, which is dated January 9th, my clients do not read or speak English. He doesn't know. He had no idea. And when he finally figured out what was going on, that the city was going to deny him his tobacco retailer's permit for the year 2023, he and his wife had submitted the appeal, and here we are.
Muy bien,
They did the best they
entonces, muy bien. Entonces, quiero notificar a la Junta de que con respecto a la fecha de la carta, la ciudad, puso la fecha estaba para enero 9, pero mis clientes no leen ni hablan inglés. Entonces no tenían ni la menor idea y cuando por fin se dieron cuenta, qué es lo que estaba pasando, de que la ciudad le iba a negar el permiso de venta de tabaco para el año 2023. Él y su esposa sometieron la apelación y aquí estamos.
Okay, Mr. Vaccaro, I have a couple questions for you just to understand this. Is this the only business that your client operates in Philadelphia?
Muy bien, señor Vaccaro, tengo dos preguntas para usted, solo para entender. ¿Este es el único negocio que su cliente opera en la ciudad de Filadelfia?
I think that's a question that he could best answer. I could direct it to him.
Yes, please.
Esta es una pregunta que creo que él puede responderle mejor. Se lo voy a dirigir a él.
If we need to swear him in, this may
Oh,
be a good
yes.
time.
Okay.
Creo que lo podemos juramentar.
Mr. Vaccaro, would you put your client's name on the record, please, so he can be sworn?
Señor,
We can't. We don't hear you. You have to speak into the microphone.
I'm sorry. His name is Miguel.
You went out completely. We don't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
His name is Miguel, Miguel. Last name Nunez, Nunez.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Nunez, please raise your right hand so you may be sworn.
Señor Núñez, levante su mano derecha para que lo podamos juramentar.
Sir, do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
Señor, ¿usted jura de que el testimonio que va a dar el día de hoy es completamente la verdad?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
Sir, is this business at 5456 Erdrich Street the only business that you operate?
Señor, este negocio, el que está ubicado en 5456 calle Erdrich, ¿ese es el único negocio que usted opera?
Señor.
Perdón, ¿puede repetir, por favor?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been in business?
¿Hace cuánto tiene este negocio?
10 años.
10 years.
Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
Okay, I want to hear Ms. Reinhardt, the second matter that you raised, which is a matter of the appeal itself.
Ok, señorita Reinhardt, quiere escuchar sobre el segundo asunto que mencionó, que es sobre la apelación.
I do actually have some rebuttal
Oh, yes,
documents
please.
tengo
to
unos
the
documentos.
first matter.
Oh, okay, just allow the interpreter to.
Ok, sí tengo unos documentos para refutar el primer asunto.
Please proceed.
Procede.
I am opening my screen with appellant's appeal.
Muy bien, estoy abriendo mi pantalla con la apelación. Con la
There were a
apelación
number
del
of
apelante.
documents attached to it.
Hay bastantes documentos adjuntos.
However, it appears that the reason for the appeal was not the denial letter, rather it was the subsequent code violation notice issued on March 14th, 2023 for selling without a tobacco retailer permit that was the reason for filing this appeal.
Muy bien. La razón para la apelación en realidad no fue por el rechazo de la carta, sino que subsecuentemente fue por la violación del código de la violación del código que fue emitido para marzo 14 de 2023 por vender tabaco sin el debido permiso.
So, Ms. Reinhardt, is it the city's position that it will show that either the appellant did not ever have a sales license or has an invalid license?
Entonces es la posición de la ciudad mostrarte que el apelante nunca tenía una licencia para venta o no la tenía en ese momento.
Rather, it was that the denial letter was issued and there was no action on it until the subsequent ticket was issued. And that's when they decided, and the ticket was issued specifically for selling without a permit. And that's when they decided to file this appeal.
Okay.
Bien, sí, entonces en realidad es porque no es por el rechazo de la carta, sino que no hubo una acción sobre eso. Es decir, no hubo una acción hasta que se emitió el ticket y la boleta y fue la boleta del ticket fue específicamente por vender sin un permiso.
Okay. Mr. Vaquero, does your client conduct all of his business in Spanish? Does he have no English speaking customers?
Ok, señor Vaccaro, ¿su cliente hace todo su negocio en español o no tiene ningún cliente en inglés?
Oh, it's our position that he runs a convenience store. So he may be able to say $5, $10, good morning, because he's making a sale at the counter. He may be taking an order for a sandwich.
Okay. And how did he, were you, okay, were you his legal counsel when he organized the business or purchased it and or started the business?
No, sir. My first meeting with this gentleman was on September 28th, when I had another hearing on another matter before this board, and he had a hearing at that time, and I requested a continuance, and the board graciously granted that continuance. I could meet with him and discuss this matter, and here we are today.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, does this need to be interpreted?
Yes.
Muy bien. Thank you. Muy bien, entonces sí, entonces quería preguntarle, pues definitivamente si esto, si él habla inglés o en algún momento con alguno de sus clientes o todos sus clientes hablan español y pues el cliente, mi cliente puede decir, la respuesta del señor Vaccaro es, mi cliente, él puede decir $5, $10 o buenos días porque estás conduciendo una venta, puede ordenar un sándwich, ok. Entonces, la respuesta del juez, ¿usted le estaba dando consejería legal al momento de comprar, de comenzar este negocio o al momento de, cuando hizo la primera reunión, perdón, al momento de empezar el negocio? Y la respuesta del señor Vaccaro es, la primera reunión que tuve con el caballero fue en septiembre 28.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a short executive, Mr. Maher, do you have any response before we take an executive session to come back and render decision as to whether we proceed or not?
Mr. Chairman, I actually have an additional document in order to, on this subject.
Yes,
Muy bien.
please.
Muy bien, entonces solamente vamos a tomar, antes de tomar un periodo para poder responder a esta sesión, entonces, señorita Reinhardt, ¿tiene alguna otra cosa? Sí, quiero presentar un documento adicional para esto.
I'm showing the board a copy of a letter addressed to the city of Philadelphia. This was in order to support an administrative appeal previously filed with the Office of Administrative Review, I believe.
Okay.
Muy bien. Entonces, sí, entonces estoy mostrándole a la Junta una copia de una carta que se me sometió en la Corte de Filadelfia para poder apoyar la apelación administrativa que previamente fue sometida en la Oficina Administrativa de Revisiones, me parece.
I would like to submit that this is evidence that appellant does conduct business in English and has in fact communicated with the city of Philadelphia, including in this letter in which he begins it by I, Miguel A. Nunez, want to inform that, and it continues with the reason for the appeal
Okay, let's get the interpreter.
Muy bien. Entonces quiero someter esta evidencia que es del apelante, donde el apelante que demuestra que el apelante sí hace negocios en inglés, o sí conduce negocios en inglés y que en efecto se comunica en inglés definitivamente. Y esta es una carta que fue sometida en la ciudad de Filadelfia, donde dice que la carta comienza con yo, Miguel Núñez, quiero informar, y ahí procede a dar la explicación, a continuar dando las razones en inglés.
Thank you. Mr. Vaccaro, would you ask your client if this is in fact a letter he prepared?
¿Puede preguntarle, señor Vaccaro, a su cliente si esta es una carta que él preparó?
And I'll certainly ask him that, and certainly I'll ask him a follow-up question on that letter.
Yeah, please do.
Muy bien, sí, le voy a preguntar eso y le voy a hacer una pregunta de seguimiento a esa carta.
So, Mr. Nunez, did you prepare that letter?
Señor Núñez, ¿usted preparó esa carta?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and who physically wrote that letter with pen or pencil and paper? Who physically wrote that letter?
Ok, ¿y quién físicamente escribió esa carta con lápiz y papel?
Yes.
You did?
No, señor, interpreter, here I'm going to ask the question again.
Yes, please.
Señor, ¿quién físicamente escribió esa carta con puño y letra? ¿Quién escribió esa carta?
Yo, señor.
Interpreter here, did he say yo?
Ask him to repeat.
Okay, yes.
He
Okay,
said yo.
okay, I did.
Okay, he said he did. Interpreting.
I have another follow-up.
Okay. But Mr. Vaccaro, you asked the second question as to who actually physically wrote the letter, and his response was he did.
Right.
Interpreter, wait a minute, interpreter.
Muy bien. Entonces, señor Vaccaro, usted le preguntó al señor su pregunta de seguimiento si él escribió físicamente esa carta y él respondió que sí, él la hizo.
Okay. Mr. Vaccaro?
And my next question is, did you have any help in writing this letter?
Y mi siguiente pregunta es, ¿tuvo ayuda para hacer esta carta?
Yes. Get closer.
¿Tuvo ayuda para escribir esa carta?
Sí, señor. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Gracias.
All right.
So he had help. So
okay.
The letter was submitted. It was done in his hand, but he did have assistance in writing that letter.
Entonces, sí, él tuvo ayuda. Él escribió con su puño y letra, pero sí tuvo ayuda para escribirlo.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a short executive session to review this matter, and we'll come back and render our decision as to whether we proceed or not.
Muy bien, vamos a tomar un pequeño descanso ejecutivo para discutir cómo procedemos con este caso.
And before the board goes into executive session, I don't want to insult the board's intelligence, but we're using a Spanish interpreter in this case because of my client's inability to understand and speak English.
Okay, interpreter.
Muy bien, pero antes de que vayan a la sesión ejecutiva, no quiero insultar la inteligencia de esta corte, pero estamos utilizando un intérprete en español en este caso por la inhabilidad de mi cliente de no hablar inglés.
Mr. Vaccaro, please understand that the request or need for the interpreter is determined by the appellant. We have no independent way of knowing if he speaks English or not, or how well he understands English. And so that should have no bearing on whether or not he understands English, the fact that he asked for an interpreter. So we will give it the weight that it deserves.
Thank you.
Muy bien, entonces antes que nada, la solicitud de la necesidad de un intérprete por el apelante no tiene peso sobre su habilidad de que pueda entender o no pueda entender lo que nosotros estamos, que también entienda lo que nosotros estamos diciendo. Así que vamos a darle el debido peso.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a short break to deliberate on this matter. Both Mr. Vaccaro and Ms. Reinhardt, you presented it's a very unique and novel situation here. We believe it's within the discretion of the board, given the circumstances, to hear the matter today, partly because we just want to get it done and we want to resolve it. And we think, Ms. Reinhardt, you have an argument and you have witnesses who are prepared to go and put facts on the record, and we will hear that and make a decision. Okay, so we're going to proceed. We can go back to, I'm sorry, I got the interpreter. Interpreter, please.
Muy bien, señorita Vaccaro, caballero, señor Vaccaro y señorita Reinhardt. Tenemos una situación única en este caso, bien novedosa en realidad. Y pues sí creemos que esto es una situación que la Junta va a escuchar el asunto el día de hoy, básicamente porque yo sé que ustedes quieren ya solucionar esto, resolver esto. Así que tienen unos testigos, así que vamos a proceder.
Okay, so let's do this. Ms. Reinhardt, I believe it was your witness, so why don't we start there?
Thank you, Chairman.
Testigo, procedamos ahí.
I actually did not get the opportunity to make my second argument. This was that there were no issues raised before the board, and am prepared to show the documents now.
Okay,
bien.
but I can tell Ms. Reinhardt, based on information we've seen thus far, you certainly can make that argument in your presentation. So we'd rather just go ahead and do that.
Respectfully, I have to do this now in order to put it on the record.
Okay, please.
Muy bien, perfecto. Entonces quiero proceder con explicar el segundo asunto, ya que para que quede dentro del registro.
I am sharing appellant's appeal. Again, this was filed March 17th, 2023. In the reason for the appeal, it was left blank. And when looking at the documents attached to the appeal, in order to try to discern specifically what is being raised, there are a number of blue highlights. It appears that Department of Public Health and the date are highlighted on the denial letter.
Muy bien, entonces estoy compartiendo las documentaciones de las apelaciones del apelante que de nuevo esto fue en marzo 17 de 2023 y la razón por la cual y las razones por la apelación están en blanco y si podemos ver los documentos adjuntos a la apelación podemos discernir, no podemos discernir cuál es la razón específica para cuál se está haciendo esto, pero aquí podemos ver en el siguiente documento que está resaltado tanto, este es del Departamento de Salud Pública y está resaltada la fecha y donde dice el Departamento de Salud Pública.
On the second page of the denial letter, there is an additional mark that appears to be maybe the numbers 130.
Y en la segunda página aparece de la carta de negación, aparece una marca adicional que dice, pareciera que dice 130.
And then on the final tickets, a ticket number and a PO box appear to be highlighted.
Y en los tickets finales aparece que está resaltado los números de tickets y la PO box también.
Respectfully, the city does not know to this day what it is that appellant is raising and has been unable to prepare any defense and is being asked to put on a case and wait to hear for the very first time what it is that appellant's appeal before this court will be or board will be.
Muy bien, y de manera respetuosa, pues la ciudad no sabe al día de hoy cuáles son los puntos que el apelante quiere someter, porque que en realidad no se ha preparado ningún tipo de defensa para poder, no se ha preparado ningún tipo de defensa para que poder tener en el caso. Y pues estamos esperando todavía escuchar cuáles son las apelaciones del apelante ante esta corte.
Okay, Ms. Reinhardt, are you prepared to proceed today or do you want us to continue this?
No,
Señorita Reinhardt, ¿quiere proceder hoy o quiere esperar?
Respectfully, I don't believe that there has been anything raised on appeal for the board to hear.
Okay, we've heard your argument. We're going to proceed. So let's move on.
Muy bien, entonces, respetuosamente, no creo que haya ningún punto que la corte, pues, en realidad tenga que escuchar. Entonces, ok, respetuosamente ya escuchamos sus argumentos, entonces vamos a proceder.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would like to call Ms. Jody Wilkins for the city of Philadelphia.
Quiero llamar a la señorita Jody Wilkins para la ciudad de Filadelfia.
Ms. Wilkins, can you please introduce yourself?
Señorita Wilkins.
I'm Jody Wilkins. I'm sorry.
All right, don't worry. Señorita Wilkins, please continue.
I am a sanitarian supervisor with the City of Philadelphia Health Department.
Muy bien, soy Jody Wilkins, soy supervisora de sanitización para la ciudad de Filadelfia, del Departamento de Salud.
In that position, do you oversee the tobacco retailer permitting process for the City of Philadelphia?
Y en esa posición, ¿usted supervisa la venta de tabaco para la ciudad de Filadelfia?
Yes, I do.
Sí, señorita, sí lo hago.
I am going to share my screen with what has been previously marked City Exhibit 1.
Voy a compartir mi pantalla con lo que anteriormente ya fue enumerado como exhibición número 1.
Can you see this letter dated January 9th, 2023 on your screen?
¿Puede ver esta carta que dice enero 9, 2023 en su pantalla?
Yes, I do.
Sí, sí lo puedo ver.
Can you tell us what this letter is?
¿Les puede decir qué es esta carta?
This is a tobacco retailer permit denial for 2023, dated January 9th, 2023.
Esta es un permiso de trabajo para, perdón, es un permiso para venta de tabaco rechazada con fecha de enero 9 de 2023.
Are you familiar with the tobacco retailer permit background for community mini markets?
¿Y usted está familiarizada con los antecedentes para permiso de venta de tabaco para community mini markets?
Yes, I am.
Sí, sí lo soy.
Can you tell us the reason that the 2023 tobacco retailer permit application was denied here?
¿Y nos puede decir las razones por las cuales el permiso de venta de tabaco de 2023, por cuál esta aplicación fue rechazada?
It was denied because the business sold tobacco to minors more than 3 times in 2 years.
Fue rechazada porque el negocio vendió tabaco a menores 3 veces en un periodo de 2 años.
And specifically, are those instances of selling tobacco detailed on the bottom of the first page and top of the second page?
Y específicamente esas instancias de venta de tabaco a menores están detalladas en la parte de abajo de la primera página y en la parte superior de la siguiente página.
Yes, it is detailed on both pages.
Sí, está detallada en ambas páginas.
Can you explain the difference between an incidence of violations and each violation itself for the purpose of counting?
Muy bien. ¿Y nos puede explicar la diferencia entre la incidencia de las violaciones y detallar cada uno de las incidencias, más que todo para poder contarlas?
Yes, so in order to lose the tobacco retailer permit, you have to have 3 instances, meaning 3 separate days of selling tobacco to minors or someone under the age of 21 to account towards their 3. And there's more than 3 of them on this letter.
Muy bien, sí. Para poder perder el permiso de venta de tabaco, tiene que tener 3 incidentes de ocasiones en que se venden a menores de 21 años en más de 3 ocasiones, en 3 ocasiones, por lo menos. Y en este caso, en esta carta, hay más de 3 incidentes.
As I am going through this letter, it appears that there are 7 separate dates that are listed next to the violations, with multiple violations issued on some dates. Is that correct?
Muy bien, y parece que viendo esta carta, hay 7 diferentes fechas listadas acá de violaciones, incluyendo múltiples violaciones en una sola fecha.
Yes, there are multiple tickets per date, but they're all counted as separate instances in terms of the violations themselves, but in terms of the counting, they're only one date represents a violation date.
Sí, son múltiples instancias, múltiples tickets por fecha y son diferentes violaciones o incidentes para contarlos como una sola, para representarlos como un solo ticket.
I believe my question was imprecise. There appear to be violations here from 7 separate dates. Does that mean that there are 7 instances of violation?
Muy bien, creo que mi pregunta no fue correcta, no fue precisa. Aquí aparecen 7 fechas distintas. ¿Eso significa que hay 7 instancias de violaciones?
There I think it was, unfortunately, there was a typo here, that was done by the person who prepared the letter. That one of the dates may be off there, but, there is at least 6, I believe that is. There was a typo on one of them.
Creo que aquí hay un error de mecanografía acá que está mal escrito por el error hecho por la persona que preparó esta carta. Parece que las fechas hay una de las fechas que está mala, pero hay por lo menos 6 instancias distintas.
Can you tell us what the typo is?
¿Nos puede decir cuál es el error?
For violation under says 3-5, where it says 3-5 and 5-5, that should have been 3. It should have been 3-5, but that was a typo. It should have been 3-5-5s there.
Sí, donde dice 3-5, violación, y dice 5-5, debería ser 3-5 ahí.
Ms. Reinhardt, I'm not understanding the answer. Could you mind ask Ms. Your witness to repeat?
Sí, ahorita no estoy entendiendo la respuesta. ¿Nos puede pedir que repita, por favor?
Of course. Ms. Wilkins, are you saying that one of the violations written as issued on 5/5/2022 should have been on 3/5/2022?
Sí, usted está diciendo que una de las violaciones que dice 5/5/2022 tuvo que haber sido escrita como 3/5/2022.
Yes, the bottom one where it says 5-5 sell without ID. That should have been that, and then there's one that says 5/5/2022 sell to minor. Then that should have been, the last one should have been 3-5, not 5-5. It was not in the right order. Unfortunately, I did not write this ticket, so I mean, write this letter.
Okay.
So, you know.
Ms. Wilkins, would you, in fact, read how it should be written, should have been correctly written? Please do that, so we know the whole thing.
If
So
we
know
can
which one.
pause for the interpreter, though.
Yeah. Sí, entonces, ahí dice, por ejemplo, en la parte de abajo dice 5, dice que venta sin identidad, tiene que haber 5/5/2022, venta para un menor. Tuvo que haber sido que, en vez de decir 5-5, tiene que decir 3-5. Desafortunadamente yo no escribí esto. Sí, por favor pueden leerlo como debería estar escrito, por favor. Léalo completo.
Is it possible that the way they're written correctly is on the second page, the actual tickets themselves? Can I review that instead of this letter?
Ok, es posible leerlo en el ticker en sí, porque ahí es donde está escrito correctamente.
Okay, Ms. Reiner, what I'm really trying to do here, because the way this has been presented is a little confusing. If we know that the correct date is 3/5, just read 3/5, whatever, the whole line, so we know which one she's referencing.
Sí, entonces, ¿sabe qué, señor Reinhardt? Si tiene que ser 3-5, entonces solo léalo como 3-5. Lea la línea completa mejor.
So I am somewhat confused at this as well, but believe that we may be able to count the number of violations
Okay.
when looking at the tickets as suggested.
Okay.
Sí, también estoy un poquito confundida, pero creo que podemos contar el número de violaciones contando los tickets.
Mr. Chairman, if I may interrupt, this, instead of looking at all these tickets as we proceed, it seems that if we look at the letter and the second page of the letter, that there are ticket numbers with IDs to the right, at the very right on each line. And if we put those together, it would appear that a ticket dated 5/5/2022, number 123, sale without ID, 63619-091, may have been written and should be reflected as 3/5/2022. Would that be
Yes.
correct?
Muy bien, dice, señoría, viendo el ticker, podemos proceder que viendo la segunda página, las cartas, las letras de los tickets y los números de los tickets, ahí dice que en cada línea, si los podemos ver todos juntos, dice 2022, números 1, 2 y 3. Los números, aquí los tickets dicen 63619, 091 pueden estar escritos de manera que está reflejando, ahí debería estar escrito que debe reflejar la fecha de 3/5/2022.
Ms. Wilkins, can you please clarify?
Señorita Wilkins, ¿puede verificar?
Yes, that was correct, that the last one should have been 3/5 instead of 5/5.
Sí, es correcto. La última tiene que ser 3/5 en vez de 5/5, sí.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Ryan, we're spending way too much time on this, but what I was asking for her to read the full line just as my colleague just did, which would give us the correct reference.
Sí, siento mucho, nos estamos tardando mucho tiempo en esto, pero puede leer, lo que le había pedido era que leyera la línea completa, así como lo leyó mi colega.
Okay. Ms. Wilkins, it appears that with the typo clarification, there were no incidence dates taken away from this list. It was simply a change from one incident date to another incident date. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Ok, señorita Wilkins, se parece que acá, que aún con el error, en realidad no se le quitó, y gracias a la clarificación, no se quitó ninguna fecha de los incidentes, solamente se cambió de una fecha a otra fecha, ¿correcto? Sí, sí es correcto.
As a result, when counting the dates on this list, are there 7 incidents of violation here?
Y contando como resultado de esto, cuando contamos las fechas que están acá, ¿son 7 incidentes de violaciones?
I'm going to object before the witness answers this question, not to counsel's question, but the gentleman sitting behind the witness was whispering or saying something into the witness's ear while counsel was questioning her. And I'm objecting to that.
Okay,
Muy bien.
interpreter.
Muy bien, voy a objetar antes de que el testigo responda a esta pregunta, no por lo que está diciendo eso, sino por lo que está diciendo, sino porque la persona que está atrás del testigo le estaba diciendo algo al oído a la testigo, le estaba diciendo algo.
And I'm going to ask that gentleman behind the witness be identified, and I need to know what that gentleman said to the witness.
Necesitamos que la persona que está atrás del testigo se identifique y necesitamos saber qué le estaba diciendo al testigo.
Okay. 2 things. We aren't going to devolve into the weeds here. Mr. Vaccaro, your objection is so noted. Ms. Wilkins, please identify the individual who is sitting behind you and ask them to exit the screen. And when asked a question, please not refer to anyone else. You're to respond to the best of your own individual knowledge.
Muy bien, entonces, okay, no vamos a entrar en esto, pero su objeción está anotado, señor Vaccaro, pero vamos a hacer 2 cosas, ¿ok? Señorita Wilkins, por favor, dígale, identifique, por favor, al individuo que está atrás de usted y le va a pedir también, por favor, que salga de la pantalla y cuando se le haga una pregunta a usted, por favor, respóndala con la mejor de sus habilidades y no pida, no se remita a nadie más.
Okay. Okay, let us proceed.
Procedamos.
Yes, so his name is Andrew Amos. He is a clerk here that works with me and he's just observing. And so I will ask him to exit the screen.
Muy bien, sí, el nombre de él es Andrew Amos y él es un trabajador que trabaja conmigo y él simplemente está observando, pero le voy a pedir que salga de la pantalla.
Thank you. And no one should be speaking to you in your ear, telling you, responding to questions. None of that. Understood?
Understood.
Nadie tiene que estar diciéndole cosas a su oído, ni respondiendo por usted, ni nada. Solamente usted. ¿Entendió? Entendido.
Okay, let's proceed.
Procedamos.
Let the record note that the gentleman has exited the screen.
El récord tiene que mostrar de que el caballero ya salió de la pantalla.
Thank you. Let's proceed.
So my question before counsel's objection was whether there are in fact 7 correct dates of incidents of violation listed here.
Entonces, mi pregunta desde el previo a la objeción es que en efecto hay 7 violaciones con fechas correctas enlistadas acá, ¿correcto? Señorita Wilkins.
There's 6.
Son 6.
Okay, I am going to go through them Individually, I see the first as 11/6/2020.
Muy bien, te voy a hablarlos individualmente. Esta es la primera, que es 11/6/2020.
The second as 3/30/2022.
La segunda es 3/30/2022.
The third as 10/13/2021.
La tercera es 10/13/2021.
The fourth as 12/15/2021.
La cuarta es 12/15/2021.
The fifth as 1/26/2022.
La quinta es 1/26/2022.
The sixth as 3/5/2022.
La sexta es 3/5/2022.
And the seventh as 5/5/2022.
Y la séptima es 5/5/2022.
The 330 was an error. That was another error. I apologize. That was another error. That was not 330. There's no violation of 330.
Sí, la tercera, la que es 3:30, ese fue un error. Eso no existe una violación de esa fecha. La que es 3:30, lo siento, es un error.
That was supposed to be a part of a 3-5. Unfortunately, this letter was not written correctly. I apologize. That was not something I did.
Okay, Ms. Wilkins.
3-5. O sea, tenía que ser 3-5, lo siento. Yo no escribí esa carta, lo siento.
Okay, Ms. Wilkins, partly because we have an interpreter, but also just in terms of being a witness, please just restrict your answers to specifically what the lawyer has asked, okay? Do not add any additional stuff, okay?
Muy bien, entonces, señorita, porque tenemos un intérprete y también por otras razones, por favor, solo restríngase a contestar solamente lo que el abogado contestó. No vaya a agregar nada más.
So we have 6 incidents of violation.
Entonces tenemos 6 incidencias de violación, ¿correcto? Sí.
And how many incidents of violation are permitted before the city is unable to reissue a tobacco retailer permit?
¿Y cuántos incidentes de violación se permiten antes de que la ciudad pueda reinstalar un permiso de venta de tabaco?
3.
3.
I am scrolling down to what has been pre-marked City Exhibit 2 and 3. These are code violation notices for the above tickets, correct?
Muy bien, entonces estoy mostrando lo que está marcado como exhibición, lo que está premarcado como la exhibición para la ciudad de exhibición 2 y 3, lo cual son notificaciones de violación para los tickets anteriores, las multas anteriores.
And tickets 4 and 5 following.
Y continúan las multas número 4 y 5.
Yes.
Sí.
Exhibit 6 and 7 are additional tickets.
Y las exhibiciones 6 y 7 son multas adicionales.
Yes.
Yes.
Exhibits 8 and 9 are additional tickets.
Y exhibiciones 8 y 9 son multas adicionales, son tickets adicionales.
Yes.
Sí.
Exhibits 10 and 11 are additional tickets.
Y exhibiciones 10 y 11 son adicionales. Sí.
Exhibits 12 and 13 are additional tickets.
Y 12 y 13 también son exhibiciones 12 y 13 son adicionales también.
Yes.
Sí.
And following is Exhibit 14, the public hearing report and revised regulation relating to tobacco retailing. Does this control the tobacco retailing permitting process?
Y esta exhibición, hold on.
Yes.
O sea, y esta exhibición de acá, entonces, que muestra el reporte de las audiencias públicas, está mostrando que esto controla los permisos de trabajo para venta de tabaco. Sí.
I believe Mr. Vaquero is trying to make an objection, but I'm not sure what it is. I can't hear.
Mr. Vaquero, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Barely. Something's happening with your microphone.
I'm sorry, can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
that's much better. Yes.
Okay, yes, my objection is that the question calls for the witness to make a legal conclusion.
Okay. So noted. Ms. Reinhardt, would you restate and let the interpreter?
Muy bien, mi objeción es básicamente que, que el testigo llegue a una conclusión legal.
Ms. Reinhardt, please restate the question, please.
Puede,
Rephrase.
Señorita Reinhardt, por favor, reformule la pregunta, por favor.
Ms. Wilkins already testified. She respectfully, I don't a call for legal.
You're breaking up. Ms. Reinhardt, you're breaking up.
Okay. Ms. Reinhardt? Okay, Ms. Reinhardt, we can't hear you at all. You're losing connectivity.
I'll put her in the breakout, or put her in the waiting room, bring her back.
Okay, let's do this. It's 5 after 4. Given the we're going to take a short break and allow Ms. Reinhardt to get reconnected. Mr. Vaquero, I apologize for this, but we don't have a lot of choices here. So we're going to take a break and come back at 4:14.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, we're back on the record.
Bien, ya estamos de nuevo.
Ms. Reinhardt, we were right in the middle of your response to the objection.
Señorita Reinhardt, estamos en medio, justo en medio de su respuesta a la objeción.
Okay, Mr. Wade, did she get reconnected to us?
He was on 2 different devices. She came back. I only see the one.
Excuse me, Ms. Reinhardt is having difficulty with her connection. Could the board put this on hold and go to another matter?
Well, we've done that twice already, so
I mean, if the board wants me to take over the hearing, I do have a copy of the exhibits I can show the witness.
Okay, let's do this. Mr. Vaquero, this is also your client's time and your money, his money. The issue is what's the most appropriate, fair way to do this? We want to be fair, but at the same time efficient. We can continue this matter to another day. We could conceivably ask Mr. Johnson to pick up, but again, he will be stepping in the middle of a matter. What is your reaction to that?
My position is that if Ms. Reinhardt started with this matter, it would be most appropriate for her to finish the matter. So we could either wait until she's able to reconnect, or we could relist this matter. I'll leave those two.
Okay, let's do this.
Positions up to the board.
Sure. Within the board's discretion, Mr. Johnson, thank you for offering to do that. But given that Ms. Reinhardt has argued eloquently and put on certain facts, I want to continue this matter until we can get a date and she can resolve things.
He's coming on a different device right now.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, but she's still not connected.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to attempt to do audio on my cell phone and video on my cell phone as well in order to share.
Well, I think you need to turn the volume down
on my computer.
Yeah, you need to turn the volume down on one of those devices because you're getting feedback.
Okay.
Okay. State what you're going to do again and see if we're getting feedback.
Are you able to hear me?
Well, yeah, but the same. Yeah, with an interpreter, etc., Miss Reinhardt, this is not going to work. We need to continue this so we can work out the technical matters, and because we have an interpreter who needs to interpret everything you say and get it correct with the appellant. So it's not being held against you. It's just the technology being what it is. We can't do it this way.
Can I ask if this works?
Oh, that's certainly clear. Yes.
Are we able to proceed if this is the way that?
Well, let me check in with
things
the
sound?
interpreter. Let me ask the interpreter. Interpreter, can you hear clearly what's being said?
I can hear her clearly, yes.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what you did. If you can freeze in that moment, let's proceed. If we have another major hiccup, technically, we're going to have to continue the matter to a different day.
Thank you. I do appreciate everybody's understanding with the technical difficulties.
Okay, let's proceed. You were responding to Mr. Vaquero's objection in terms of Ms. Wilkins having arrived at a legal conclusion. Interpreter?
Muy bien, usted estaba respondiendo a la objeción del señor Vaccaro en cuanto a llegar a una conclusión legal.
As the board previously heard, Ms. Wilkins is the administrator for the health department for this program. And so in that capacity, she enforces these regulations. So it is not a call for a legal conclusion so much as a statement of duties.
Okay, all right, thank you. Understood. Overruled. Let's proceed. Move on.
Muy bien, entonces más que todo, como escuchó la Junta, pues definitivamente, la señorita Wilkins es la administradora para el Departamento de Salud para este programa y en efecto no es que estamos solicitando una conclusión legal, sino que estamos como que presente su notificación o su establecimiento de su rol en este departamento. Ok, entendido. Proceda.
Okay.
Ms. Wilkins, can you please confirm that you enforce these regulations as part of your duties?
Señorita Wilkins, ¿puede confirmar de que usted refuerza estas regulaciones como parte de sus trabajos? Sí, sí lo hago.
I said, yes, I do.
Sí, sí lo hago.
Ms. Reinhardt, we lost your connection again.
Señorita Reinhardt.
It's not working. Ms. Reinhardt, we lost your connection again. You broken up completely and your image is no longer, we can't see you. No. Okay, let's do this. With regard to this matter, with regard to this matter, HA-2023-001241, 5456 Erdrich Street. Interpreter?
Muy bien, entonces vamos a hacer lo siguiente. En cuestión de este asunto del caso 1241 de la dirección 5456 calle Erdrich.
Okay, we will, because of technical difficulties, we'll need to continue this matter to another listing date.
Muy bien, debido a las dificultades técnicas, vamos a continuar con este asunto en otra fecha.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Vaquero, appreciate your cooperation. Ms. Reinhardt, if anyone is present from the law department, if you're able to communicate with Ms. Reinhardt, please let us know what we had to do in order to move the list forward.
Ok,
Thank
señor
you.
Vaccaro, muchas gracias. Y señorita Reinhardt, si alguien presente del Departamento de Leyes, le puede notificar. Muchas gracias, señor Vaccaro.
Okay, Mr. Wade, would you relist this as quickly as possible?
Yep.
Judge, do you still require my services?
Let me check. Mr. Wade, do we need the interpreter for another matter?
We do not need the Spanish interpreter unless you wanted to give this a date today.
Unless if you have a date today, sure. Well, no, not today because Ms. Reinhardt is not available to confirm. So we'll need to communicate later. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. Witnesses are excused. Mr. Vaccaro, unless you have other matters, you're excused and your witness. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a pleasant day.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Wade, what's the most likely next matter?
Just give me 1 second. There were a few
Sure.
things going on while we were on break. Alex is in an executive room. I do believe case number 21. There was a request for that case to be called. due
Okay.
to lack of witness.
Let's do that
case,
one.
Case 21, hearing appeal ending 3945, 725 Johnson Street, Karen Anderson.
Lee Begelman is here for the city of Philadelphia in that case. I don't see the appellant here. This was continued, I believe, at least once, if not twice already.
Okay. Mr. Wade, can you please confirm service?
Service was made.
Thank you. So I will make one additional call. It's for 725 Johnson Street, Karen Anderson. 725 Johnson Street, Karen Anderson. Hearing no response. Mr. Pincus, what time do we have? You're muted, Mr. Pincus.
My apologies, 4:27 PM.
4:27 PM. Thank you. We will call the vote on HA-2022-003945, 725 Johnson Street, Karen Anderson. Mr. Begelman, I should have asked, what is your preference?
We'd like this to be marked as a city affirm for failure to appear.
Okay, the vote is city affirm non-appearance.
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 Thank you very much. That resolves that matter. Mr.
Thank
Wade,
you.
I guess we only have, what, 3 open items for the balance of the listen?
We have 4, and they are all water department. Case 3 was called the city affirm, but that was, we struck that from the record.
Yes.
He is here. I need to pause the recording to go in the breakout room to get Alex.
Okay, let's do that. And we'll call case 3 when we come back, when you come back.
Good afternoon, board.
Yes, Mr. Anthony Asiatis, you prepared to move forward?
Yes, Chairman Woodson, I'm prepared to finish up case number 1. I'm prepared to move forward on case number.
I'm sorry.
No, I heard someone speaking. I'm prepared to move forward on case number 3. I would just ask Chairman Woodson, for case number 26, we were in a breakout room with counsel, Mr. McDevitt. He has a time constraint, and I have no objection to it being moved to the first available date, as my witness that I had prepared for that matter was also called into an emergency. So.
Okay.
And the other matter, again, Chairman Woodson, is the witness that I have for case number 1, who's able to stay on to complete that matter, would also be my witness for case number 24. However, he's unable to stay late to handle that matter. So I would be respectfully requesting the first available continuances for both number 24 and 26, and counsel for number 26 is in agreement, as he has a time constraint as well. And I would
Okay.
like,
Is that, is counsel for 26 present?
Yes, he's on.
Okay, I just, would you read that file into the record, Mr. Wade?
Case 24.
26.
Case 26, hearing appeal HA ending 3773, 2538 South Darien Street. Appellant AJEN Gradityak Wardini.
Okay.
I believe represented by James McDevitt.
Okay, Mr. McDevitt, we just need you to put your name on the record and to confirm that you're in fact joining the city in a continuance request.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Woodson. I apologize. It's just, I wasn't expecting it to be this long today.
Okay, we here until 6 or 7 o'clock sometimes. So if you sign up again, expect to stay late. Just formally put your name on the record so we can proceed, please.
James McDevitt, McDevitt.
All right, thank you. And you confirming that in fact you joined the city and requesting a continuance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll continue this matter. And if there's an Indonesian interpreter presence, please identify yourself and please know that we will continue this matter and get back to you. You excuse. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's go to
Case 24.
Yes.
Case 24, hearing appeal ending 3224, 2036 Buyer Ave, Nazareth, Kashian.
Okay.
If there's an Armenian interpreter on the line.
Okay, would the interpreter please identify himself, please?
Hello. I don't know if the interpreter is here anymore. He was here. I saw an Armenian name, but I no longer see one, but we are ready to proceed with or without
ma'am,
one.
no, we have to, I'm not sure who you are, but the appellant requested a Armenian interpreter, which we're required to provide. That person is not here, we can't continue. In this instance, we also have a request from the city to continue the matter. Mr. Wade, no, ma'am, please, just for a moment. Mr. Wade, is the Armenian interpreter still present?
The Armenian interpreter never identified themselves officially, but I did see someone with the documents, and I do not see that person any longer.
Okay, let's do this. Ma'am, what is your name and your relationship to this matter?
Hi, my name is Arusia Kashishian. This is the appellant Nazareth Kashishian, my father.
Okay, what we're going to do, wait.
But he wants to proceed without an interpreter.
He cannot. He's requested one. We're legally required to do that. I'm not going to do it in the middle of a hearing. That's not going to happen. We will get him an Armenian interpreter if that's what he needs, because you cannot assist him. We can't allow you to assist him.
I understand. He can proceed without one.
No, he has said he needed an interpreter. We are continuing this matter, ma'am. This is going to be continued. Okay, explain that to him. We'll get another date. Okay, understood.
We are not agreeing to the continuance.
Well, you don't have to continue. Well, you requesting, so we will make a decision and without.
Can we have Mr. Wade read my email where I said we do not need an interpreter?
Mr. Wade, was there a formal request for an interpreter in this matter?
I believe so.
Okay, if there was a formal request for an interpreter, then that's what we requested one. That's what we will use. In the meantime, madam, we lost our witness for the city, so we also need to continue for that reason as well. So just check the record to see if we have the formal request.
I felt as though I was.
Ma'am, you can't speak out of turn, okay? I'm waiting for Mr. Wade to respond to me.
I am on October 3rd, an email requesting a continuance. Request for continuance. They wanted to add their own interpreter, according to this email.
Okay, that was October 3rd?
That was on October 2nd.
So, and what email did you get another email this morning?
I do not have it in front of me. I would have to check. If I got it, it was late.
Okay, but given that the water department has said that they've lost their witness, we need to continue this matter anyway for those two reasons. And so, ma'am, what you can do, make sure if you haven't done it, please send an email directly to Mr. Richard Wade at the administrator's office, and we will reschedule this hearing. Now, keep in mind that if your father cannot represent himself on his own without assistance, then it will be a problem. Okay?
He can.
I
Okay.
can.
Okay. Well, we're gonna we lost our witness, so we have to reschedule. That's part of the problem as well.
But so the problem is also that my brother and I have taken off from work today to be here with my father. So now 4 hours later, we're still sitting here and he can
Yes.
proceed without an interpreter.
But did you hear what I said about losing the witness from the city? Did you hear that?
I did,
Okay,
Your Honor.
so
but
we
he was-
can't do
he
it
was
without
there
the
a
witness.
minute ago.
But we can't do it without the witness. Okay? I apologize for the inconvenience and the impact on your schedule, but we don't have much of a choice. Okay. So we're going to continue this matter.
I will write back to.
You are muted, ma'am. We have to move on to a next case. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
it seems like the Indonesian interpreter keeps popping in and out.
Yeah,
And
we've.
her name is Daisy.
I spoke.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've continued that matter already anyway, so that person can be excused if he comes back in. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to
Recall case one.
yes.
Recall case one, hearing appeal ending 1953. 3606 Bel Air Place, Jerry McWilliams.
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson, Alexandra Athanasiadis on behalf of the city.
Yes.
We had the opportunity to speak in the breakout room. I did have the opportunity to review the one-page document that Mr. McWilliams sent regarding for I apologize, for his plumber's report. That was reviewed by my witness, Mr. Murphy. And Chairman, the city's position stands that the notice of defect was rightfully issued. I'm happy to recall Mr. Murphy in order to give testimony as to his review of the document and why the NOD was rightfully issued.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Mr. McWilliams, you were able to discuss this with Miss Athanasiadis and her inspector. Do you have any additional testimony you'd like to give us?
No, I still don't agree with their findings, but
Okay. All right. Was there any discussion about your plumber meeting with or talking to the city's plumber?
we had, I explained to the miss that we had called the city on the Friday before the plumber was coming and we got no response back.
Okay.
I offered, I would like to have everybody together to examine this test because I didn't see any evidence of the dye test. And from the last hearing, you personally had asked the water department for the documents for the test. And
Okay.
nothing, I'd never seen anything from it.
Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have the test itself to share with us?
Chairman Woodson, there is no formal written test. Mr. Murphy can testify that he was present when the
Okay.
actual dye test was performed
Okay.
and that he witnessed the dye.
Okay. Yeah, he did that. That's already on the
Yes,
record.
yes.
Okay.
And just the documents that I submitted, Chairman Woodson, that were, the record keeping of what was performed and what was found.
Okay. Alrighty. Does anyone else have any questions of the Mr. McWilliams or of the city?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Board, are you prepared to vote? If I will call the vote unless there's additional questions required from the parties.
Chairman, I'm happy to recall Mr. Murphy, just to put on the record that he did look at the
Okay.
plumber document. Mr. Murphy?
Yes,
please
ma'am.
Pull over
I am on the highway. Right, I've been kicked out of the yard. The yard is down closed. I can't go back to the yard.
Can you pull over to the side for just 2 minutes, sir?
I'm on the highway, no shoulder at all.
Okay, this is.
Chairman. I leave it to your discretion. I'm happy to just wrap things up.
Yes, let's wrap things up. I mean, let's
Okay.
wrap.
Yes.
Okay. You can, for purposes of your argument, final argument, you can represent the testimony of the inspector.
Thank you. Chairman Woodson, if called to testify, Mr. Murphy would say that he did review the plumber report that Mr. McWilliams forwarded. He would also state that the report itself does not indicate that there is not a defect per se. He would also testify that the camera, although we haven't seen the video, I would just like to state that as well. Whatever camera test was performed, there is a possibility, as Mr. Murphy would testify, that the camera doesn't pick up everything. There could be the smallest of cracks, nook, cranny, that the camera would not see as being defective. It's very limited in scope and it goes straight down. So the sides aren't as clear and as visible. And so that's what, if called to testify, Mr. Murphy would testify to. And that he would also indicate once again, he was present when the dye test was performed and he witnessed the dye in the defective vent pipe and curb chop.
Okay, thank you. Now, Ms. Athanasiadis, as a general statement, if a homeowner or property owner were to take action, expend resources, and have a professional, in this instance, a plumber, excavate and expose the pipe, and they find out there is no defect, would they have a claim against the water department?
They would certainly, if they provide the evidence, yes.
Okay.
But the expenses like put forth for whatever testing they performed.
Okay. Mr. McWilliams, what I'm suggesting here is that you need to have your plumber, excavate that area to confirm and repair your vent pipe and stack. If they do that and find that there's no defect, then you have a legal claim against the city. That's why I just wanted Mr. Athanasiadis to put that on the record. Okay. But we have to make a decision based on the information we now have before us. Okay, I'm going to call the vote for HA-2023-001953-3606 Bel Air Place, Jerry McWilliams, City of Fern. Mr. Pincus or Mr. Pettit?
Yeah, I'm unmuted. I'm sorry. City affirmed.
Appeal sustained.
Okay. Appeal sustained. Okay. Mr.
Appeal
Tennant?
sustained.
Appeal sustained. Okay.
Appeal sustained.
Appeal sustained.
Appeal sustained.
Appeal sustained. Okay.
I'm going to change my vote to appeal sustained.
Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 appeal sustained and 1 city affirmed. Mr. McWilliams, you won your appeal. Okay.
Thank you all.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Okay. Let's move on to what do we have next? Then number 3, I think, right?
Case number 3, 8450 Fayette Street. The city would call Jason Locke in this matter.
Okay. Before we do that, I need Mr. Wade to read it in.
Case number 3, hearing appeal ending 3635, 8540 Fayette Street, Richard Duckett.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Duckett, are you present?
Yes.
Okay. You figured out how to get your camera working. Good. Okay. All righty. And your witness,
The city would be calling Chairman Jason Locke in this matter.
Mr. Lockett?
Yes, I
Yes.
hear.
Do you swear? Yes. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Duckett, will you be testifying today?
Yes.
Okay. Would you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. You can place your hand down. Okay. All righty. Let's proceed.
Chairman Woodson, this case is before the board as on August 16th, 2023, the Philadelphia Water Department went to 8540 Fayette Street in order to shut off service for failure to schedule a water meter service appointment. The meter issue has since been resolved. However, while on site, it was determined that the property did not have an accessible and operable shut-off valve, thus violating Philadelphia Code Section 13-502. On August 18th, the property owner, Mr. Duckett, appealed the notice indicating that the curb stop was made accessible. Jason Locke went to the property most recently on November 30th, 2023, and the curb stop remains inaccessible due to shifting, debris, and cement. The city would call Jason Locke in this matter.
Okay, Mr. Locke?
Yes.
Mr. Locke, please state and spell your name for the record, sir.
Yes, Jason Locke, JASON LOCK.
Okay. And by whom are you employed?
City of Philadelphia Water Department.
And what is your current job title?
Assistant Manager of Delinquency and Restoration Unit.
Okay. And what are your job responsibilities?
Duties are to oversee the daily operations from delinquent shutoffs for residential and commercial properties throughout the city. Also to correct violations for delinquency, non-compliance metering that have been served notice of defects for not having accessible curb stops. Also installing meters to residential and shutting off for non-compliance for not allowing access to change out meters.
Okay. And are you familiar with this property of 8540 Fayette Street?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to show you, Jason, just bear with me. I'm going to share with you my screen. Okay, do you see the document that I'm showing you, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay, now I'm showing you the letter that the property owner received indicating the violation of Code Section 13-502. Is this a document you're familiar with?
Yes.
And is this a document that is normally prepared and kept in the course and scope of Philadelphia Water Department business?
Yes.
And you've seen this type of letter before?
Yes.
And I provided you this letter when I requested that you re-inspect the property, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the board, sir, what is a curb stop?
Curb stop is the access to shut off the water to the property.
Okay.
And it's located outside the property, most likely at the curb line.
Okay. And what is a shut-off valve?
Shut off valve is same as curb stop. Same thing, it's a shut off.
Okay. And why is it important to have a properly functioning operable curb stop?
It's important for the homeowner itself, in case there's any kind of internal problems and the water needs to be shut off. They can access the outside to shut off the water, make any kind of repairs. And in case any leak was to happen inside the property, flooding to the neighbors.
Okay.
It's also an access point to shut off.
And whose responsibility is it to maintain the curb stop?
That's the homeowner's responsibility.
And whose responsibility is it to maintain the shut-off valve in good working order?
The homeowner's.
And you I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I said the homeowner's responsibility.
Okay, and you visited this property, correct?
Yes.
And you visited on 2 separate dates.
Yes.
You went on November 28th, 2023. I'm just going to share my screen with you. And Jason, what are we looking at here?
The square box is the water shut off, curb stop.
And the curb box is where
That's
my
the-
cursor is located?
Yeah, and it's underground.
Okay. And is this a fair and accurate representation of what the sidewalk area outside of 8540 Fayette Street looked like on November 28th, 2023?
Yes.
Now, you went back out to the property on November 30th, 2023, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and why did you return to the property?
I want to take pictures of the shifted curb box.
Okay, so you wanted to take pictures of the
Yes.
inside?
And so, yeah, the internal part. Yep.
Okay, and I'm showing you 3 photographs.
Yes.
Do you see them?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and can you tell the board what we're looking at here?
That's the pipe that goes down to the curb stop. That's shifted, and you can't access the curb stop to shut it and turn it on.
Okay. Is this another angle of the shifted curb
Yes.
stop? And another?
Yes.
And what is this here surrounding? Is that,
Cement and debris. Dirt.
okay. And you took these photos on November 30th?
Yes.
And these 3 photos that I showed you of the inside of the box, are they a fair and accurate representation of what the interior of the box looked like on November 30th, 2023?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And so as we sit here today, and based on the photos that were presented, does this property remain in violation of Code Section 13-502?
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions of Mr. Locke at this time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Duckett, do you have any questions of the inspectors based on his testimony?
Yes, now you said you visited the property on 11/28. Did you leave any notice of any sort to say that you were at the property and performed any type of inspection?
No, I didn't. You already had the notice.
So you don't leave another notice.
No. You already violated.
So it was the same thing on 11/30. You didn't leave any notice of any type to say you had visited the property.
No, it was just an inspection.
Okay. So now, according to what the attorney just said, you said it's a shift in the pipe.
Yes.
So it's not blocked, but it's a shift.
Shift it, yeah. You cannot get a curb key onto that curb stop. And
you
you've seen the
tried?
pictures. Yeah, you seen the pictures, right?
I saw the photos. So you tried to put the key in there.
Yeah.
You're not saying
FSR.
well, no, it was said it wasn't properly functioning. So it's not that the valve is not functioning. You said you couldn't get it because the line shifted.
The curb box is shifted, yeah.
So
You had
could
the
you say
notice?
could you say whether there was any debris in there?
You can't tell, shift it. As the initial notice says on there, shift the curb box. From 8/16/23. You should have received that at the door.
Okay. No further questions at this time.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have any additional witnesses?
I do not, Chairman Woodson. I would just mark and move into evidence the photos presented.
So moved. Okay, thank you. Mr. Duckett, is your opportunity to put on your case information that you want to share with us?
Yes. So when I received that notice, my neighbor and I, we went out and we removed all the debris out of the pipe. So he had this long device with a little scoop on it, and we scooped all the debris, everything out of there, all the mud, all the everything. So it was a short time after that the gentleman came and put the meter in. So I asked him, hey, can you take a look at this? I told him about the notice. He took a look at it and he said it could be excess.
Well, now, who is this person that you're referencing, and did they give you anything?
No, he didn't give me anything, but he was the guy that came and installed the meter.
Okay,
So
another water.
he was another water department employee. Yes.
Okay, did he use a key to try to operate the curb box?
Well, he visually inspected it with his flashlight, and he looked down there and he said it was okay.
But that's not what I asked you. I asked you, did he visibly put a key in to try to operate?
No, he did. He did. No, sir.
Okay.
He did not put a key in. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. No,
Okay.
he took a flashlight. He shined it down there. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Take a look." He said, "You can access it with the device."
I'm just going to make an objection, Chairman Woodson, just for the record as to hearsay.
So noted. Okay, thank you. Mr. Duckett, what else do you have?
That's it.
Okay, Mr. Duckett, I have a question for you. Have you called your plumber to ask him to see if they could operate the shut-off valve, the key?
Well, my cousin, who is a plumber, he told me I probably could get it out myself, the debris. So
That's not what I asked you. Did you have?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No.
Did he offer to come over and operate your valve to show that it operates on and off?
No, he did not.
Okay, because that's really what the information. If you could show that the valve is operating, then that's the one way to argue against the violation. Because that's essentially it. The violation is to make sure you have an operable shutoff valve.
Yes, I understand that. But I took the other water department employee. He took his flashlight. He looked down there. He told me to look. He shined it down there. He said it is accessible.
Okay.
And I took
All right.
his word.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Duckett or for the inspector? Okay. If not, we will call the vote on HA-2023-003-635-8540 Fayette Street, Richard Duckett. Just for the record, please note that the previous decision by the board has been stricken, and this is a new decision. Now that we've heard the full testimony from Mr. Duckett and the city's presentation, we'll start the vote with city affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Thank you. It's a unanimous city affirm. Mr. Duckett, you've lost your appeal. Just a bit of advice, sir. It'd be helpful if you have the plumber friend of yours or cousin to give you or use himself the shutoff valve and see if it's possible. But you should get that corrected because it's to your advantage to have an operable shutoff valve if you have an emergency. It's going to be really important to you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
Question.
Yes.
All right, so now what is that, with that outcome, what's next?
That means you still have to read the violation notices about what the outcome and the penalties for not complying. You need to comply with the violation. That's what the city wants.
Okay, well, is there a way to get another copy? Because once he said that, I don't have a copy of the violations.
I don't know. Ms. Athanasiadis, is that possible?
Yeah, Mr. Duckett, I can forward you whatever you submit the letter because it indicates what you need to do with the violation. I can forward that to you, sir. Is your email address what you've put on your appeal?
Yes, it should be my work email. rduckett@septa.org. Is that what you have?
That is not, but rduckett@septa.org.
Yes, well, you guys just sent me the link to get in on my SEPTA email. That's why I thought that's what you had.
I didn't send you the link, sir.
Yeah, somebody sent me a link.
Okay, but anyway, Mr. Duckett, they will send Ms. Athanasiadis has offered to send you the letter again, so you will have it and we'll be able to follow those instructions. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good day. Okay,
Yes,
Mr. Wade, what else do we have open?
Am I excused?
Yes, sir. You're
Yeah.
excused. Yes, sir.
That's
Thank
all
you.
we have.
That's all we have. Now I see there's someone on the camera iPad too. Is this a matter that we didn't do, ma'am? You're muted, so I just want to make sure we
I
have
asked
left
them
something out.
to, they never responded. I asked them to, I sent
Okay.
them a message in the chat.
Okay, ma'am. Is there a matter that you were waiting for to be heard today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which one is that?
Let me see, I got the letter right here. It's HA 2023-00-426-4261.
What's the address?
5531 Beaumont Avenue.
5531 Beaumont Avenue.
Yes.
And your name?
Deborah Thomas.
Okay. That matter is moot, meaning it's been resolved. Okay. All right. So unfortunately you sat through the hearing. You didn't need to do that because it's moot.
Yes, nobody sent me a letter, but thank you, sir.
But we recall that I said to everyone, please listen, and we called your address and we identified it was moot.
Yeah, I probably didn't hear it, but thank
Okay.
you.
All right. You're welcome. Have a good afternoon. Good evening, ma'am. Okay. If there's nothing else from anyone, I think that's it, right?
Mr. Chair, can we
Yes,
have
sir.
a brief executive? I wanted to just quickly share something.
Okay. Let's